'Tis time for Sniffer.
Sniffer? Oh, no.
Yes.
Sniff.
The Sniffer has now learned that the thing has a smell.
Oh, I
can
see.
track a smell.
Oh, you are the.
I can sniff.
That the what has a smell?
The girl has a smell.
Well, yeah, but it's quite far out.
You might need a little bit more to go on than just smells of perfume.
That's all I got. So that's all I can do. I can be a sniffer.
That's fair.
Let the man
Right.
sniff.
Yep. So, hello,
I might
everybody.
find
Welcome
food.
to Crabby DnD. We have been live for a little bit. Oh, that's fine. I'm here with Kat,
Hi.
Damien,
Hello.
Kay,
Greetings.
Lloyd,
Ah, bro.
and Vinny.
Hello.
We are unfortunately without a Romulus today. Family have absconded with our blessed Romulus. His family finally came for him. And
Family came all the way from Baron.
Yep. From the Barren Lands. That's not where all Minotaurs come from.
All Minotaurs.
All Minotaurs and Centaurs come from the Barren Lands. Racist much?
Oh?
There's an entire section called the Beastlands above here. I'll have you know. Anyway.
Peace,
So
ladder,
yes.
social construct.
Yes. Yes. This is the local map of that they have otherwise been looking over as of recently. So yes. But are you all sitting comfortably for the beginning? Very well.
Good response.
Greetings, one and all. We are back. After their little wake-up call, fighting more corpse oozes and an ooze-covered rat, the party of Kat, Damien, Kay, Lloyd, Romulus, and Vinny have made their way back to the surface, making a fleeting friendship with a white rat before it gave them some valuable information regarding the infected individuals. It left their presence after a little disagreement between them. But now, what will the party do next? After acquiring some crucial healing from the head abbot, you currently stand in his office. The head abbot has otherwise lit it with the otherwise light or low light of a deep blue convenience crystal inside of a lantern, which he's placed on his desk. The smell of dusty tomes and the freshly cleaned party now fills the chamber. Papers and a map have been laid out before you, as you are currently in the process of looking them over and discussing your next plans. It is currently 4:30 a.m.
Anybody got some loudspeakers? Make up the name.
Just as a general reminder for you, Jamie, or Kat, I should say. With your passive investigation, you picked up on the something was similar, or there was information in there that you hadn't picked up on from your from the previous notes, and you just haven't figured out what it is yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, oh dear, I'm opening everything now. So guys, I can't shake the feeling there's something about these notes, though. I can't put two and two together to work out what it is.
Let's have a look. What's today's date? I seem to have forgotten.
I nearly told you the date then. Wrong day.
Yes, it's the 1st of May.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not quite Cinco de Mayo.
no, it is the 1st of Galligan today.
So it's the next month. And how many days in a month again?
28.
28, okay.
28 days in each month, 13 months a year. And
Right.
then New Year's is a separate day, and leap years have 2 New Years.
Okay. So the last entry...
You're on the last month of summer, notably.
Oh no, not autumn. So the last entry in this ledger was 11 days ago?
What month is it? You have there's
18th of
Sotnith,
Thorikin.
then Thorikin, which you were just in, and then Galligan, which you're now in.
So yeah, it's about
Thorikin
11
was-
days ago. Because it was the 18th of Thorikin. It was the last note in the ledger. So, if the last note in the ledger might be the last time that those elves were alive, that's how long it's been. That's how long it's been since the oozes came down and presumably. Hang on. Where's the storage room?
That was a bit underground.
That was the
The
bit that
storage
was underneath the
room?
distillery.
Yes, the storage room was the first one underneath the distillery. The hidden lounge was the one that
Okay.
came off of the storage room, and then the
Yeah.
lab was the one where the ooze-covered rat was.
Gotcha.
What did you say?
The 18th of Thorikin was the last date, and currently it's the 1st of Gallican, did you say?
Yes, Galligan.
Which is the month after?
Gallican. Which is the next
month
month,
after,
yeah, and it's 28
Yeah.
days each month.
So
So
it's
that's
10 days. It's 11.
effectively 10 days, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that kind of tallies up with what we've been informed of by the rat and by you, Head Abbott. Oh, and the plague lights too.
Yes, it was roughly about 2 weeks ago that the attack started.
Okay. I don't think there's anything necessarily else in the ledger that looks too important, Cat. I don't know about you. It just kind of gives a bit of an idea that we already know they've been doing it for a while, so it's just that these particular 2 pages? Yeah, 2 pages are the last, about a month of activity they've been up to until they got killed.
How do you know they were killed?
Well, the skeletons of the elves.
Alright.
The bodies kind of gave it away.
Yeah.
Though it may
I
not
don't
be.
know what you mean.
Though it may not
There
be
could
all
be
of them.
fakes.
Might not be all of them, but the one who is making the ledger.
Because I mean, there is a letter that, if I recall
Oh,
rightly,
there's
said
this
that
letter
everyone
from-
should go home after a Zaka Crossing thing got busted.
Ah, okay. So let's have a look.
It also seems to
He's-
confirm that the plague was as much of a disruption to them as it was everyone else.
Yes.
So they weren't responsible for that part, at least.
No,
And
although
then-
we believe that's probably related to this noble girl.
Hmm.
Also, their operation was pretty big, so this topic puts them.
You are cutting out a bit, Infernal. Your sensitivity might be a
I
bit too-
will, yeah, no, my thing is too high. My nephew was here yesterday and
What else is in this letter? Most recent orders. We don't have a date on the letter, which is unfortunate.
No.
So
Is it
Zaka's
better?
cross. Sorry, go on.
so far.
Is this a general letter? Is that how you guys are reading it, or is it to a specific person?
It feels quite general when it's
Oh, it says none of us have caught it, so I
work will be
suppose-
slowing from the season, for the season since Zaka Crossing got busted. So use the time to visit family. I guess if you need, could be more of a specific
It-
term.
Could be specific person.
Hmm.
And then we've got a name here, which is Venkos. I would assume that might be one of the elves that perhaps has died, but I don't know. I mean, I'd assume so because he's suggesting to this elf is suggesting to others to leave. Visit family. Oh, I got some pictures, haven't I?
pictures.
When we went into the area where we found Cat, you've got the other piece of paper, the book.
What other piece of paper? Which one?
The middle one between the three there.
What, from the
The book from
lounge?
Hidden Lounge. Yeah.
Yeah. No, here it is.
Yeah. I got it from the same place where I think this came from. Where there were the beds and there were the chests underneath, and that ink bottle that got smashed. Yeah, I've got some pictures which I got from. All the way up my notes.
You got it from one of the chests, I believe. It was
Yeah.
alongside some clothes and.
Yes, there's some pictures here. Drawn sketches of a beautiful elfin lady, as you can see. I've got this image of Damien just holding it up like an auctioneer, and this is lot number 1. And she's wearing some jewelry and children. Maybe she's presumably the family of one of the elves. Perhaps maybe one of the elves, perhaps even the elf who was this family, may have left after that letter was
Possibly.
written.
Maybe they're in town. Maybe they're
It
actually
could
here.
be. We could. There's a long shot, head Abbott, but do these people look familiar?
He takes the piece of paper from you. Can't say they're anyone I'd recognise. Tracy's more the one who handles the front, as it were. I usually just handle the records. So it'd be worth asking her when she's awake in the morning.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
But if they're drawn, I mean, the artwork's not bad. It doesn't look like it's been professionally done. It's not like a painted piece or anything, so can't say.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I have an idea. I'm gonna try and copy this picture using my skills.
Your skills?
Yes, Chris, you know what I'm talking about.
Hold on. Hold on, I got a lot of your character sheet. Was this from your... You don't have the,
Oh, is it from a specific thing that I got the ability to do that? Or I thought that was how
You're talking
all
about
of
the
my stuff was.
You talking about your forgery kit?
No. I'm talking about being good at copying things better than.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how my whole thing is.
Oh no, that's what you were going to be getting when you get your 4th level feature, because you're going to be taking the specialization.
Oh, okay. I have to wait till 4th.
Yeah, it's 4th level. You get to
Okay.
that. I mean, you can practice it now by all means, and
Yeah, sure.
that's fine.
I'm gonna try.
Make me a. I'll say make me an intelligence check, followed by a sleight of hand check.
Intelligence.
Let's double check the DC for this is going to be fully both. Okay, you study the elements for a moment with your intelligence, kind of looking over that. You get a general gauge of what you're working with here.
Right.
And sleight of
Sleight
hand.
of hand.
Okay.
That's with a +8.
Okay, yeah. Taking what you can of maybe some ink, you begin to copy it fairly line for line, if not improving it slightly based on the fact this seems to be drawn on either charcoal of some form on basic paper. You begin to kind of curve up the lines, make it look a little bit neater and nicer, maybe getting rid of some of the mistakes, and the smudginess begins to disappear. It's well done. It's a copied image, but for all means, and if you were to look at both of these, you'd imagine that the charcoal one probably is the fake, given it's drawn in charcoal, in comparison to the ink one.
That's impressive. That
Looks better.
That does. Looks very good. I'm wondering. We'll obviously ask Tracy when she wakes up, but I'm wondering maybe if we could post these around town and or sort of wander around town with them, maybe sort of in pairs or something, and have an ask around, see if anybody recognises them. in and out
If
the
you
town?
were
You
if
lucky?
you were wanting to look for a person, I'd recommend giving it to the Flame Keepers. They'd be the
Okay.
ones who'd be able to enforce it a bit better. If you were just wandering around looking for someone, you're more likely to be stopped and questioned as to why you're looking for this person, as opposed to just giving it to them and saying that there is of importance to a particular case or investigation. And if
Even as
it's
a
with
knight?
even as a knight, yes. If you're
Okay.
looking for someone in question, usually they won't bother you too much, but if it's a group like your own, then it might be a bit more questionable. Especially if you're basing it off a picture like this.
Minotaur. Have you seen this person? Wait, what are you going to do? Turn it into a skin? Oh no.
Another thing
Well,
we've got
either-
to.
No, you carry on.
The other thing we've got to be aware of is that this picture was found somewhere that shouldn't be found. And if we start going around showing people, oh, have you seen this person? If the person doesn't want to be found, or if the person's like, oh god, I know where they found that picture, I'm busted, they're going to probably hide even more. Become even
So it would
harder
be
to find.
better idea for the Flame Keepers to do it, or just not to do it?
Well,
Depends. If you're wanting this person to come to the surface and you want them to be arrested, then by all means it'll be worth giving it to the Flame Keepers and leaving it in their judgment. But if you're looking for this person to potentially ask them questions, then it'd be better to do it on your own, but that'll be dangerous and potentially get you into trouble. It might just be better to hope that they cross your path, as opposed to searching for them. Unless they're a key part in your investigation, but from what you've been saying, there's more leads you can pursue.
This girl.
Yes. Yeah, we got to look for her, but
Yeah.
if we just got a description to work with, and it's not a great description.
no, but well, we have some leads we could potentially follow in regards to locations.
Yeah.
There's
But-
one place we could check out. Other than that, a noble-looking girl wandering around alone.
Any idea
Can't
of
be
what?
that well hidden, right?
It's going to be quite conspicuous.
Where did you say to check, Simon? Because I think you cut out when you said one place to check.
No, I just said one place to check.
Which is...
Oh,
Yeah.
which is where the first infection happened.
Oh, okay. That's the bit that was missing.
Okay.
Is there anything in this other ledger, this middle ledger, that we haven't noticed?
Well,
Shipment
The
to
thing that's
ZC.
the thing that's throwing me off, right? The Zeka crossing was busted. We ended up with 2 bodies, what we found, that were taking a shipment to Zeka crossing. If no one around here, because as far as everyone was concerned, all of these manholes were sealed up, so the authorities here didn't bust the people here. So where was the... I can only assume, looking at this ledger that was from the lounge, that it was shipment 556. That was the only one that we found in recent times that's going to Zeka's Crossing. But
So there's 3
there were-
others that have gone out since.
there was 557, 558, 559. Now, we know that them 2 bodies were going to Zeka's Crossing because they had a note stating that they were taking their shipment to there. But we didn't find the 2 crates of refined veil. And I don't recall, not that I ever really looked, seeing debris of boxes being smashed up.
Not in that area, no. That was the crossroads, wasn't it, in the sewers, where we found the person with the letter.
Yeah, there were the 2 bodies, weren't they? And then we found the letter
Yeah.
on one.
I mean, what we could try and do is see if we can talk to the Plague Knights and see if they can check cargo trying to go out.
I mean, we could, but I would have guessed that they probably went out more than 10 days ago.
Considering the last notice was 10 days ago in the journal, and I don't imagine there being
Yeah.
much activity in the sewers at the moment with everything that's going on. So
Yeah, but thing is, we don't know how difficult it is for people to be able to leave from here. It might take time for them to be able to leave. Because
is
it took
true.
time just to be able to get in.
Well, it's possible that we need to go out anyway to try and find this noble girl. Into the outskirts, outside the walls.
Which we're going to need permission to do anyway.
We're going to need permission to do.
I've already been looking into that for your benefit. The Plague Knights are the one holding the quarantine at the moment. If your information directly lies with whatever this patient 0 is, and where we've recently had infections outside the city, imagine if you were to either be accompanied or potentially even if you had a good, strong evidence to investigate, then it's possible that you could have a word with them and maybe go out of there. If you're looking to get checked, we can obviously check you here, get you fully checked up and make sure you're all ready to go. And they obviously have their own methods of detecting disease, but it's a slower process. And then they can clean up whatever needs to be had. The main thing is if you start showing symptoms, that's when we need to worry, because it's not just a surface problem.
Oh God. It looks so weird.
Yeah, I know. It's because Infernal's always tagged down in different games, his mouse is going crazy.
Oh, I'm just hyperactive. Come on, what the hell?
Sure. No, we can tell.
Bruh.
Have you been trying some of the veil?
I can
No.
I can tell when you're doing it, Infernal. I've been able to tell since campaign 1 when I saw your mouse stationary and it just pings back to the center because you're playing an MMO or something. Anyway.
No.
So, but the main thing that you need to look out for is some form of fever or a rash. That's usually the first signs of blight skin. So you just need to be careful.
Actually, I have a couple questions about that.
Mm-hmm.
Can your test detect it before those symptoms show up?
Ours can't. There is a more thorough test the Plague Knights can do, but it takes time. It involves a ritual of some form. That's why they haven't been doing it. They've been doing it on their own members when individuals have been interacted with or had surface or skin exposure, and they do that over in their current headquarters.
Where are they?
He pauses for a moment as Chris goes and gets a green token and spawns it and prepares to place it on the map.
The green token, I believe, will go. If I remember correctly,
Face
it
your
was
bitch
somewhere
now!
down- I'm saying it is going to be somewhere around here.
I mean,
Okay.
clearly the Plague Knights are bad, so they've got to be in the bank.
I'm gonna with like quail here, up here somewhere. Though
Okay.
And they is now.
Judging from what I
in this
recall,
area,
Oh, okay.
there's
I'm
high-
going here.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the hospice. That's where we are.
that's where we are.
Okay. Simon?
Oh, I'm trying to guess if the Plague Knights would be in the old town or the new town.
Aha.
There's like they're like a permanent fixture in the town, right?
No,
At the moment.
They've only moved in because of the.
Yeah.
No, the Plague Knights got here about a week ago. They got here about 3 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks ago the attack started happening, and so they've reinforced a stronger quarantine.
Right, I'm guessing then they probably picked up an abandoned house in the old town. So let's guess here-ish.
Okay.
Around.
Right, go on, Chris. Own me.
Own you? So, I will say the closest person was Infernal, but accidentally,
What do you mean accidentally?
as south of the town hall, against the back edge of the old town. They have set themselves up on that main road and quarter.
Oh,
Interesting.
Hmm.
If you remember when you left, the sewers from here, you travelled up a way, and then he split off from you,
oh, you went right. Yeah.
and he went right. Yes, so he left, going off up this way to this particular point.
Well, I think our next stop should be somewhere over there to try and find more about this girl.
Yeah, I agree. We should find out more about this girl and.
They probably have some information. By the way, does anyone know of any alternative ways that this disease can be spread?
From what we understand, it's mainly just from contact with a corpse on exposed skin, through an open wound, on some individuals. Not all individuals, but it's mostly just in through open wounds or contact with skin. And the subjects become more infectious when they have the green or yellow pustules on the rash.
But if this girl was infectious, why didn't she get sick?
Maybe she's just a carrier.
Yeah, she might just be immune.
Or maybe the circlet makes her immune from the effects of it.
We don't know what magical effects.
We don't know what the
potentially-
circlet does. I mean,
Well,
it's
if
got to be
circlet
significant.
is magic, then Kay can
That's
figure that out.
true. Wasn't the thing that? Oh wait, hang on. Does my character know that? Does my no? Does my
Know
note
what?
character about the sprig that the rat took?
It was carrying it. Most of you would have seen it.
Okay, was the sprig that the rat carried magical?
Yes.
There was a rat
Yes.
carrying a sprig.
Yes, there was.
Long story.
It, if I remember correctly, it was food.
Yeah, it mentioned something about food.
Right.
It tasted good.
I see.
But it wasn't
Well,
rat. I'm still holding to that. That was no rat.
right. Is there anything else that you need my help with? Just because I've got the rounds to make soon, and it'll be best that I do that before anybody else wakes up.
I
Tracy
suppose.
should be waking up in the next hour and a half or so, but I've got to do the rounds, make some tea and some breakfast for them, and then they'll be taking over and I go to sleep. So if you need anything, now will be the time to ask.
Do you think we should call in on the Plague Knight commander then and ask for permission first, and then if
you're going to do that, you're going to need an escort to get there. She'll most likely be at the camp.
There'll be some knights outside.
True, but they're posted there.
Ah,
I mean, if we make our way out of the old town, there should be some that can
there
give
should be
us
some
permission
patrolling
to go.
around. So as long as you wait for a patrol to go by, or we just sort of walk into a patrol and let them know what we're doing.
Well, that's the other thing, is why would they believe us necessarily?
Because we,
But would it
as
be at all
captain,
possible-
Yeah, but
We
we
know
don't at
Captain.
the moment.
Would it be at all possible for you to, I don't know, write us a reference or something?
I can write you something saying that you're doing work for the abbots. It'll at least get you past the barriers, but obviously at this time of night they would probably presumably be disingenuous. So but
No,
I can
that-
write
that'd be
something.
sufficient.
Yeah, I can prepare that for you. Right, I'll go and prepare that. You carry on. will you be needing the map for a while, or you kind of looked it over and then said nothing more, really? A map of the local area.
Hmm. That might be useful.
If
I'd
we
be
could
ask
borrow that
again for
temporarily,
the
then-
map.
Oh, I wanted to know some of the local areas. I'm not from around here, you see.
Ah,
Fair enough.
If we've got a little bit of time, give me some time. Can I just copy this map?
You can if you want. It'll take quite a bit of ink to get all the detail in, but I mean, you're welcome to.
Do you have any ink I can borrow?
Not that you can borrow for this sort of
Well-
task, no.
Can we get lots of ink from the place?
Yes, but I need
You
the ink.
did. It will cost you 75 gold pieces to replicate a map.
In fairness, ink isn't so much my problem, it's more the paper. No, actually, I've got 50 GP's worth of normal ink that I stole from the hotel. Borrowed, not term. Okay, I'm gonna copy the map.
You what? Long-term borrowed. Yeah.
Long-term borrowed with no intention of bringing back.
You
What are we
have, no,
copying?
you have no
The
idea how
investment was a
expensive
map.
that hotel was, okay? It was very expensive.
What are we copying?
The map. Okay,
The
I'm
map.
gonna take my time, copy the map. If everyone's cool
Okay.
with that.
In which case, Kat, go ahead and make me an investigation check here, and this will be to copy the map to the details that you can best gather. The lower the roll, the more of the smaller arrows I begin to remove.
Okay.
And I'll remove them for the next time. So, I mean, if you, say, for example, roll low, you won't know that Drawls, Byway, Argent Keep, and Ivory Keep are up there, and so they'll just be dead ends. And then I'll start to remove names of
That
mountains
is
and stuff after
18.
that. 18, okay. With that, you sufficiently copy the map to the best of your ability. You copy all the details that you need to. This will take you an hour to copy. It is a detailed map.
Well, if everyone's okay with
Did
that.
we get our full rest, by the way? I can't remember.
You haven't had a long rest. You can't take one until 8 p.m. tonight at the earliest, which means you've got another. Well, it's 5:30 by the time Kat finishes the map, so you've got another
12 and a half hours. No, 14 and a half.
14 and a half hours until you can take your next long rest and level up properly.
Jesus.
I
Yeah,
know.
we
I
woke
know.
up way too early.
And that's why I thought we could maybe go to sleep a bit earlier.
No, that's not how it
a little
works.
bit earlier.
A little bit earlier. Instead of going to 10, you get 8.
I was about to say, we have been awake for, what, 3 hours at the moment? No, 2.5 hours, really, haven't we?
2 hours, and it will be 3 hours once it gets to half. Well, 3.5 hours once it gets to 5. Yeah.
Question, have we eaten up to now?
You would have eaten before you left.
Yeah.
I've eaten a
No,
lot of food.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
you-
you're not
you-
referring
combat.
specifically to UK.
You made food in the middle of fighting.
You
I
didn't
think
see
you're
that.
again.
You didn't
Actually,
see
no,
it.
you might have seen at least a little bit of it, given your passive perception. But
You think I would see it with this many eyes?
I was on the other side of boxes. If Damien couldn't see me,
I
then
was
Lloyd
on
wouldn't
top
have
of
been
the
able to see.
boxes. I saw
Damien's
everything.
pretty ignorant, to be
And
fair.
I'm a tiny thing.
roll in post. Give me a stealth check versus perception here. And this will be active perception, I'll
Alright.
say, rather than your passive.
Yep.
Yeah, you did. You may have seen Kay wander off, but you didn't see him make the sandwich.
Wait, what's this stuff?
A lot.
What-
18.
There's some hope.
4
Give me a
plus
second.
4 plus.
Shut
plus
up.
6.
Wait. Is it 6? Oh
I
shit,
think
it
so.
is.
You get a plus 2 to your
Wait.
passive from your eyes.
Wait. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So Kat, you begin otherwise writing down the majority of this, with that, or otherwise copying down the map while that's going on. The head abbot heads off, comes back about 15-20 minutes later with what looks to be a scroll of some form with kind of a bit of twine around it. What looks to be kind of a small bit of wax that has been melted onto the end of the twine tips in kind of a deep green. Hands it off to you, Vinny, seeing as you were the one who asked. This should hopefully help you with any problems you have with the quarantine. Just make sure to get checked regularly, and we are trusting you, of course, to not misuse this. You've done quite a bit for us already, but I trust that you'll do what's right.
Don't worry, we'll be very responsible and very careful.
Can I eat it? I'm not saying that, by the way.
It was like, oh, that would have been perfect. Can I eat it? Very responsible, very careful with it. Yeah, sure, pass this letter to Kay.
Nom 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 nom.
Hey, damn it, we need another scroll.
Just one for each member of the party. There's a chance
Yeah.
one of them might make it.
Yeah,
Takes
but
a
with this
couple
sleight of
steps,
hand,
eats
I
the
went down
next.
In case stealth and sleight of hand would be screwed.
If
No
we're,
one will see me
we're
coming.
very
to
careful,
take them.
might
Just-
survive.
We'll just be feeding Kay more food.
Well, I'm going to start my rounds if that's all that you need my assistance for.
I think so.
I'll leave the map there. I'll collect the other one once I finish my rounds. I should be back in about an hour or so.
That's fine.
Okay.
Thank
you.
He otherwise opens the door, kind of takes his leave for a moment before the door is opened again, and you see a plague knight wander in.
Oh, hello.
The captain sent me to get you. Said that you might be wanting to move around wherever you want to go for more assistance. He's resting currently, but he told me to give you any escorts you might need to anywhere within the city.
He definitely deserves that rest. He's
Does.
been very, very good to us.
From what he was saying to the commander, I imagine so, and thank you very much for keeping him company down there. But, yes, he sent me to otherwise make sure that you can go where you need to go within the city. Said you had further investigations regarding what's going on here.
Which potentially
Yes.
are going to lead us out of the city.
Yes, we
That might be more difficult unless you can convince the commander to let you out. No one's
Well-
supposed to leave the city except out of official business and orders.
Well,
I
speaking
think-
to the commander was part of our plan.
Yes, was next stop.
I can lead you there. She's currently awake, and she will be through the night. She'll be going to sleep somewhere in midday tomorrow.
Well, we got to finish map, then we can go there.
That's fine. Do you want me to wait out here, or do you want me to stay in here with you? It's up to you.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can do either. We're just...
I'll wait here then. If you want to fill me in on anything that you're planning to do, it might be helpful. I might be able to give some insights or point you in the right directions.
Well-
What are names, by the way, just so I know who I'm talking to?
Kay?
Damien?
Lloyd.
Vinny.
Romulus.
Hi, Cat.
Right. And just call me Sebastian. I've been here for quite some time.
Name?
Hello. I know, right?
Yes, we do all have names. Most of the time, it's not a big deal. But you know, I've been assigned to you until further notice by the commander and captain. So I might as
Okay.
well have a name,
Nice to meet you, Sebastian.
of course. Pleasure, Kay.
How is map?
It's mapping.
Is there anything else you wanted to do during the time while the map is being finished?
Oh.
Probably just to inform him about the girl.
Okay.
And that's about it for me. Since that's the lead that we're going on right now.
Yeah, I think we're kind of parking the pictures for the moment, are we? Until we get to the Flamekeepers?
I'm holding on to my picture. Nobody can take it. point.
The elf
Is
on
that-
the,
I made
the
it.
picture of the elf was not the girl, right?
No, somebody else.
No. You're looking at an older woman or older elvish
Hmm.
figure.
With her children, I think.
Yeah, with family in one picture. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's relating to the elves who were down there. And I didn't mention something to do with the letters. Well, I still have time to.
Mm-hmm.
There's still time to if you want to mention it.
Cat, are those letters still on the table?
Yeah, with like scribbles of some rough degree of translation, but that's it.
Okay, let me have a little look. How
Comprehend languages would have faded at this point.
Yeah. No, that's why I would have scribbled
are they going to be
rough.
good scribbles so that I can understand the bottom of the letter?
Well, they'll be legible.
They'll be legible. Yeah, it'll be in
Okay.
common, so you'll be able to read it.
Okay, cool.
Might be a bit interesting cursive, but yeah.
Oh, actually, this won't be a concern anyway because it won't be not actually written. No, I'm looking at it. There's on the bottom of the letter that was talking about visiting family. It's got the symbol that you're familiar with, Vinny.
You mean the
Oh,
leaf cut?
the leaf cutters.
Yeah. I mean, I know that we opened the trap door at the distillery with it, but it's. I mean, I guess we kind of assumed that was the case, but that confirms it. I suppose the earlier letter also had it on, but
Yes,
that confirmed our involvement in the whole process.
this is what they do, as far as I'm aware. They're a drug cartel.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
believe so as well.
Yeah, the leaf cutters are entirely a drug cartel. They synthesize and distribute drugs according to buyers. I'd say Lloyd, where you've got a little bit more history, knowing more about them. I'd say your understanding is that most of the time they already have the orders auctioned off and paid for, and they synthesize the drugs after they've received payment, because they're a very reliable source of particular drugs and insights. However, the drugs usually vary widely and usually specialize in particular locations based on resources. But that's probably the most that you know, given you have very minor involvement with them in the
Yeah.
past. So most of it's just auctioned off. You don't know sites or areas or call signs or anything. It's mostly just
Yeah, I don't know much.
that they're
anything.
you know that they're dangerous at the worst of times, because they can get very defensive over their stock and wares, as well as their own. They
Yeah.
also get very defensive over their own agents.
Yeah. This is also a very big operation of theirs. It's not small. Looking at the amount of boxes they ship.
Yeah, they were up to something pretty darn large.
Yeah. We unfortunately don't know a lot of the locations they're talking about.
No, we only perhaps recognise the ZC. I mean, none of the other ones ring a bell to the area that I'm from, but do they perhaps to UK, Vinny, Cat, or Formulus?
Nothing that strikes any familiarity.
So these must be places that are further afield that we're not familiar
They might
with.
be further south from Zaker's Crossing.
That's possible.
Seeing as Zaker's Crossing is the first one on the list.
They could, in theory, be east as well. There seems to be another road that goes east from here, from the map that Cat's copying. I don't know where that necessarily heads. Well, Damien doesn't. I do. Kind of.
I mean, if all of these locations are to the south, then that would mean that the center of their operation is elsewhere.
I was going to say, I suspect, given that they've decided to set this up beneath a crossroads which go in 4 different directions, that it's quite plausible that they won't all just be in one direction. They could be potentially in any of the four.
That would
I
make
mean, it's
sense.
something obviously to
We did
concern
have a
us.
run-in with an agent as we were
Oh,
coming into the city.
into
That's-
into here.
On the road.
Ah.
It was a while back.
Okay.
That was
Brief encounter, but
yeah, that was very far north. Yeah, because that was on the coast. Yeah, that was very far north.
Huh? I'm confused.
That was near Reef Rock.
I'm confused. What happened?
Reef Rock. Jesus.
Where Kay and Vinny had the run-in with the smell that distracted you and seemingly disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
Where you first got your emblem.
Yeah.
The brooch thing, right?
Yeah. Although that one was damaged compared to the other ones you've seen.
Okay. So we know that they have
Yeah.
wide-ranging operations, that this isn't necessarily a central one, but it's ideally positioned to at least be central for the local area at minimum, maybe regional. Okay. I just thought I'd mention that that's on one of the pages that we've got.
Okay.
How's the map doing?
Okay. Map's finished up at this point. You are prepared to head off if you wish to move out.
Guess we move off towards the commander's headquarters?
Yes.
Yes.
If that's okay, Sebastian?
I'm okay with that. Yes.
Okay, I guess we'll head off there.
At
then
8.
for a moment.
In which case, yeah, lead the way to the commander.
Woo! To the
Okay.
commander.
Heading back out, he lifts his mace, which you watch kind of light up, similar to the rest, as he guides out. There's very little distinction between him and the captain. The only thing that you can tell is that he seems to be wearing less weaponry or less kit than the captain was, and seems to have not necessarily less because they don't really have symbols or regalia at all. It's just less in general, it would seem.
He's not dripped out.
No.
he's
He's
carrying
not got
a
the
mace,
extra
right?
Yes, he's carrying a mace as well. Yeah, most of them seem to be standard issue carrying maces.
Those are the 4-flanged ones, right?
Yes. Yeah, those maces with a large shield. Yeah, that seems to be
mace with
standard
a
issue.
shield?
Yeah, seems to be standard issue for their crew. There are a few exceptions. Some of them seem to be carrying like larger weaponry, warhammers, and that sort of thing. But most of them seem to just be carrying blunt weapons with a shield to go with.
Mhm.
It gives off more of a defensive vibe. Okay. Leading the way, not long after going down the road, with the kind of the late night, he's kind of holding his mace up ahead of him, always leading the way. You eventually see kind of the back entrance to the town hall, which is otherwise closed at this current time. As you otherwise proceed around the corner, you can begin to see large kind of open braziers just settled between multiple of these large kind of dark green tents, where you can see like small groups of plague knights are currently just kind of warming their hands and kind of just preparing themselves. Some of them kind of reach up, take off their masks, and begin to eat food. And you note that the majority of them seem to be human for those that have got their masks off, but you do know other individuals among them. Tieflings, a few or half-elven folk. You don't seem to see any dwarves in particular amongst this particular group that you see, but there's maybe like 8 of them at most sat around this brazier at the moment. Sebastian always leads the way, kind of leading up to them, kind of extinguishing his mace as he puts it down to one side. The Some of them kind of look up, just kind of give general nods, and kind of look over your crew for a moment, just scanning before going about their business. As he leads over to what looks to be a larger tent in comparison to the rest. You can see that the pittance have otherwise been driven into the stone of the walkway below and kind of holding it up in this position. As he otherwise kind of wanders forward, you see 2 more Plague Knights standing on the exterior. And as he approaches, one of them kind of pokes their head in. You hear kind of a muffled something before a larger individual steps out and looks across your crew. You see this individual in question has what looks to be a half mask, not covering their eyes and the top of their head, but covering their nose and lower mouth, almost like a rebreather. And you can see 2 large tubes that go from that to a large pack on the back of this particular individual. The form of this person in question seems to be otherwise a large and very stocky kind of stone dragonborn. You can see on his across his back, and you can see the top of seems to be this otherwise very cruel-looking maul, as he otherwise looks down across the rest of your crew. These the ones wanting to talk to the commander, then? That would be the case, yes. They just want to talk, and they're looking to leave the city to do some investigations. Right. Go on in. She's not busy at the moment. He steps to one side, and as he otherwise kind of gestures, pushing the curtain edge aside, you can see the interior of this, and you begin to be hit by an immediate wave of scent. Kay, make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Stepping into this room, the rest of you kind of following suit, it smells clean. Very clean. And the absence of smell leads to the slight tingling of almost a slightly chemical smell within this particular room.
It
At
smells
this moment,
the same.
It smells similar, very similar.
Similar to what?
It's very chemical in nature.
Like a
Not
hospital?
necessarily, not similar to you. No, doesn't smell like the hospice. It smells almost like fresh bleach.
Yeah, I said like a hospital in real life.
Yes, like a hospital.
Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd say Vinny, you're the only one who really notices Kay suddenly, as he kind of steps into the room, freeze and slow, very much so. As Sebastian steps in.
Okay, I'll hang back a bit and stay close to him.
Okay. Commander, these are the individuals who wanted to speak to you. They're looking to potentially leave the city to do some investigations outside. They believe they have some strong evidence regarding the origin of the particular disease. And given what the captain has mentioned tonight, I was hoping that you might have a word with them. You see, not too far from your current location, as you watch as she turns around and takes a few strides forward, not wearing a mask at all, no regalia in that same regard, but you do see upon her form is this light and somewhat kind of heavy leather, almost cloak that covers the majority of her form, but you see that her skin is marked on the cheeks and around the jawline, but you see it's almost black green and slightly film-like liquid film, almost similar to like an ooze in a way. But you can see distinct features of color and heritage, which I would say, Vinny, you're the only one who really recognizes. She seems to be some form of cross between water and earth genasi, making her look almost acidic and mud-like. But you can see her skin is slightly drooping and sagging, but very much kind of a film look to the outside of it, almost like oil or tar. But you can see as she looks out across the rest of you. So, you are the ones who are looking to go outside? Yes?
That's correct.
That's us, yeah.
And what evidence do you bring to me that I should allow such a thing? She kind of draws her gloved finger across the surface of the table, kind of picking it up, and you see on the edge, kind of like the black glove, where she picks it up. She does a slight rubbing motion in that moment before kind of engaging her eyes with you, Vinny.
We're working for the abbots. We think we have some evidence of where the disease may have come from.
The captain mentioned a little of that, yes. So what evidence do you bring? Let's hear it.
We spoke to one of the initial patients who survived. They mentioned their group was outside of the city at the time, when they spoke with a small noble girl.
I
None
see.
of them recognized her, and that was the most abnormal thing that happened to them. And then later, when we were down in the sewers, I don't know if you've been told about that, but when we were down there,
Yes.
I was able to
Captain.
speak with... Oh,
The captain informed me of your little expedition into the storm siphon and what you discovered down there, the rats, the oozes, and the various things that were down there, along with the changing of the water, which we are going to be looking into.
oh, as a side note, did he warn you about the change that came across the users, by the way? They're seeming more
They're more feral now,
sporadic.
yes.
Sporadic.
Yes, going back to their base nature. We've doubled our patrols around particular exits, or known exits anyway, or ones that have been made. I've heard of your workings thus far. But go on.
Well, while we were down there, I was able to speak to one of the rats.
And you trust this rat?
Even after the rats went, well, reverted, started attacking the slimes, this one remained calm and was able to talk to me. And he said that there's been a little girl outside the city. A small noble girl, smelled of perfume, in a fancy dress with jewellery on.
And you believe this girl to be the same as the one before? The one who met with the children, you said? The first cases?
We do, yes.
And you wish to do this yourself rather than hand it off to the Plague Knights? Is there a particular vendetta or reason you're looking to achieve this?
Time, primarily. The Plague Knights were already stretched thin when we arrived in town. That's why I joined with the abbots to help out. And now that you're doubling the guard to deal with the oozes, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think you have the men.
Go ahead and make me a persuasion check.
Persuasion. +5, that is 14.
Okay. She approaches kind of slowly, kind of stopping not far from you, and you begin to get a general sense of almost like a slight acidity to her. Kind of just off of her form, kind of almost oozes or radiates this light acidic smell, almost stronger version of the chemical about this room. And then she otherwise approaches and kind of stops getting close to you, looks you up and down. She begins to look around the rest of your companions.
I am
Stops.
muttering "save the cheese," by the way.
You're muttering, save the cheese.
That is my
Okay.
reasoning for doing this. I am saving the cheese.
Okay. She's going to look over the rest of the crew, stops at Romulus, glances at you, Cat. It's a bit interesting to see a young one of yourself amongst this crew. I assume you're here for your own reasons?
Yeah, I'm travelling with Romulus.
I see. And kind of looks around. What is your purpose here, if I might ask, looking at Lloyd?
Well, me and Damien met up while I was going south, and we've been traveling together.
I see. So you are different groups then, all drawn together for the same cause?
Yes.
Recent friends.
That's
Definitely
correct.
recent.
Yes.
And how many of you have the same drive as, what was it?
Is Vinny?
Vinny? How many of you have the same drive as Vinny to look into this further and to discover the truth?
Hey!
Suppose
If we can discover the truth and save lives, then yes. I'm very driven to that.
Kay raises his hand. Hey, me.
you have question or just agreeing with your friend?
I agree with Vinny. Friend.
You dress like a plague knight, yet you aren't one of my number that I recognize.
No.
Is there a reason for that?
Sensitivity to magic. I'm lying because I'm not saying.
No, that's fair. Go ahead and roll me a deception check. I'm going to say this is more of a tiered DC, so obviously the higher you get, the better it will be.
That is deception. That is a 17.
Okay. Fair enough. An interesting crew nonetheless. And you're not looking for any reward, given you've done your actions so far? Just looking to help?
Save cheese.
There's plenty of that.
No, just want to keep everyone happy and healthy. Kind of just like hiding a little bit behind Romulus. Really uncertain.
I'm just a simple caravan guard looking to pay my way in the world, but I can't look away when people are in danger.
You all have good hearts, which is rare amongst many crews. Most of them want something, whether it be gold or purpose. Well, you've earned the trust of my captain, despite waking him up and not giving him some warning for sleep. But you filled me in on the details on some of this, and you want to go and investigate this. We'll give you a check over. Are you looking for just a surface scan, or are you looking for something deeper to make sure that you're clean? Or have you been checked over by the abbot already? If you've been checked over, we don't need to do any of this at all, but...
Not
We
since
haven't
we
been
were
checked
last
for a
down the
while.
sewer. Yeah. So it's probably not a bad idea.
Right. Are you looking for one that will be able to see more thoroughly, or are you looking for one that will be more surface?
Thoroughly.
Surface.
I
We
have
can
to
do a
go with
mix.
thoroughly.
We'll go with both.
Thoroughly works for me as long as that's a measure of hours rather than days.
It thoroughly will take half an hour ritual. It won't take long. And plus, we have multiple people on hand to do this if need be. The surface round will take no more than 5 minutes, but it will require a full exposure to your body, so only for someone you will be comfortable with, given your mixed group.
If it means protecting the people around us in case we are infected, then I am willing to submit to such a check.
Can I get one of the abbots to give me a check over? I'm familiar with them and I don't like people.
The check will be with magic, so it'll be need to be one of our plague knights. But if you're worried about being looked at, the thorough one doesn't do that. It is simply a magical burden. But it obviously takes longer.
But I
I'm
already
fine
know
with
what I'm
this.
doing.
Okay, so for reference, you can have a maximum of 2 people go at any one time, and it takes a half-an-hour ritual in order to be put through thoroughly. You do not have to declothe or anything, you simply have to stay still in the middle of a ritual circle for half an hour.
That might be
Or
difficult.
you can be or you can be checked over, which will take 5 minutes. But obviously that any one of the knights can do that, but it will require a full exposure of your full form for them to check everywhere.
Is that a physical check or is it like a visual check rather than a scanning kind of check?
It's a visual, so it's the same sort of thing that they did before, where he did the detect poison and disease using his mace, from what the captain did.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fine. I'll go with the lighter of the two.
The lighter?
Yeah, the surface.
So the surface
one.
check? That will require your full skin.
I'm 100% going with thorough.
Okay.
I'll go thorough as well.
I'll
I'm
go thorough
thorough.
as well.
The magic one.
Okay. Damien?
I'm thorough as well.
Okay. I will say Romulus will go for the other one then, just so that way it doesn't take more than an
company.
Okay.
That too.
Right. I mean, I assume that we'll have somewhere private to get undressed first.
Hour. Of course. There are plenty of tents which we can easily vacate. Captain, could you find a tent to otherwise vacate? Just tell whoever it is to go on patrol and we'll get these individuals in there where they can get changed. And find 2 scanners. Make sure that they're otherwise able to take care of whatever it is. Any preference on who would be looking you over? Romulus says no preference. And do you have a preference?
Not really. I don't. As long as they're not going to touch me.
No. They won't otherwise be making physical contact. They'll be using a scanner to make sure that you're okay.
A scanner. Okay.
If you've otherwise got anything on the surface of your skin, you'll then be required to wash it off, and then they'll handle it from there, and just make sure that the majority of your form is clean, if not all of it. We can send in washers as well if you wish, if you have difficulty
okay.
reaching areas.
It's alright, Romulus can help me with that.
Very well. The rest of you form into pairs and we'll get you ritualed up. Captain, make sure to otherwise get 2 of our deeper scans. I want them ready. And if they're asleep, get them prepared. They can rest when we're done. This group, as they say, are in a bit of a rush. The captain also mentioned that you would potentially go on patrol. Is that correct, or were you looking to investigate this beforehand? If this is true that the slimes below ground have been becoming more feral and it's nighttime, they are nocturnal creatures. If they're going to escape and cause us trouble, we want to get rid of them and sort them out now. But once it gets to daytime, it'll be safer and they'll be more docile to bring down. It's up to you based on if you want to assist in patrols or guarding duties. But if you have other plans, then that's fine. Given it's dark out as well for your investigations, I don't know whether that will help. But
I
if you're
wouldn't
looking
be
for a
able
young
to
girl,
I think we should decide after seeing the thing outside might help us figure things out before we can decide.
so you'll be looking and investigating outside the city before going on patrol? Is that what you mean?
Before deciding whether we will, I think is what
Yes,
means.
Well, patrol would be after you've been checked over now. It would just be requiring you to wander around with
Oh, I
one of our
see.
other knights just to keep an eye out. Well,
Until daybreak.
Until daybreak, exactly.
Gotcha. We
Uh,
can
Given this
probably
time of year, it should be
do that.
coming around in the next hour or two. So it's just a matter of time. At that point, these lions should be more docile, and we should be able to prevent them from causing trouble.
I'd be
I'm,
fine to volunteer for that myself.
Yeah,
I'm
as long as
okay
as long
for
as we
that.
can still look outside town today, that would be fine by me.
That should be fine. We can always do the rituals later as well. If you prefer just a surface scan now and then the deep rituals when you're ready to leave the city, that can work as well. Depends on whether you want to go on patrol. It's just a matter of what might come about with the nighttime.
I still would like to do the deep scan.
Very well. We can get that arranged.
Yeah,
Anyone
we don't.
else on your group wanting to have their deep scan now and the rest go on patrol?
I
If
would.
that's okay.
I think that's a good idea, just in case we end up during potential combat in contact with any of your plague knights. We don't want to infect any of them. In case we have it.
Romulus is going to stick with Cat and whatever she decides. Romulus is relatively badly wounded, but
I'll go with Damien. If he wants
Okay.
to go on patrol, we can go on patrol and then do our scan, or the other way.
I'm happy to join on a patrol as well.
Yeah, we'll do a patrol after we've had the scan.
Yeah, same.
very well. I'll get the regular scans done for you two then, and for Kay and who else wanted a deep scan now? But we can do
Damien.
two at the same time.
Vinny.
Vinny? Very well. And then the other two, you two can go on patrol with one of our groups, and I'll get the others to join other crews. Actually, you're more familiar with the hole you made, correct?
Yes.
I'll get the crew. I'll send a crew to go and keep that safe. We've also got ones on the abandoned buildings as well, but one should be nearby to the hole you made. So, from there, Damien and Lloyd, I believe you two are leaving first, so you two will be heading off and away with a Plague Knight to otherwise arrive at the destination, with Cat and Romulus following up, and then Kay and Vinny will be joining afterwards. So, Cat and Romulus. The two of you are otherwise checked over, and both of you, despite your cleaning efforts, have relatively large patches of fur, hair, and skin covered in what looks to be this highlighted kind of sickly radiation green coloration as you are scanned over.
Okay, well, just before, as we're getting changed, I will be casting Disguise Self on myself, and my scars are going to have kind of like a burny kind of look to them, like some errant magic has happened.
Okay.
I
so
need
changing
to
what
be back
they look
in a
like.
couple minutes. If that's going to be okay.
That's fine. I'll handle the other crews first.
Yeah.
It's going to look somewhat crusty with, yeah.
Okay.
Stuffed crust
roll.
or
Okay. The particular Plague Knight who's looking over you seems feminine in general wear. It's hard to tell, obviously, but they seem to have a slightly slender form, so it's either an elf or most likely a female, but again, hard to tell, given their uniform and outfit. The individual in question kind of gives you a look over, scans you over. There are plenty of areas that need to be cleaned up. You wash yourself as best you can. Romulus helps where you otherwise can't reach. Romulus himself also gets checked over and looked over by someone, and similarly is covered. So I will now mark that and that off. Okay. Damien and Lloyd, were you two going for a surface scan first, or were you just going straight into the patrol?
I thought we were the ones being left over because they didn't have enough scans? Or...
They don't have enough for deep scans yet, because they have to do them two at a time. So Kay and Vinny are having that
yeah,
now.
so we'll go on patrol and then do ours after.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. In which case, I would like each of you to roll me a d20, please.
D20.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big blue one
Well, for you it's blue.
for me. I mean, the reason why Infernal's finished is because his one's red. It just went faster.
This one faster. Blue is lucky. Okay.
It's true, I'm very fast.
Okay. The two of you arrive, otherwise at the large hole that you've made. You can see what looks to be another 6 Plague Knights currently surrounding this one. Each of them kind of taking turns with their mace up high and kind of in pairs, just hanging around the area. You can see a few other patrols moving back and forth, and as you join this particular pit crew, you can see that 2 of them break off and move elsewhere as the 2 of you join with your particular Plague Knight who's escorted you here. You stand around and watch. For you, Damien, this is less of a problem, as you've previously been on patrols before. This sort of thing isn't out of the question for you. But for you, Lloyd, you're not used to just standing around staring at nothing the entire time. So time moves a lot slower for you than it does for Damien, who's a bit more used to this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kat and Romulus will show up thereafter. So, Kat, I would like you to roll me a d20, and Romulus will do the same. 19, 12, okay. Okay. And is Simon back yet? No. Okay. So, Kay, let's describe this for you. As you're otherwise led off, you watch as one of the Plague Knights kind of approaches. You can see that their uniform is slightly different to the others. And this particular individual doesn't seem to be carrying a mace and a shield. This particular individual has what looks to be a large pouch at their side, and what looks to be a number of vials that are otherwise lining a almost like an ammo sash, or what is it, bandolier? Is that what it's called?
You use
Probably.
it a lot.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
use
I
it a
know.
lot.
I don't use it that much. And then there's a
Good
number
deal.
of vials that are otherwise slotted in there. Most of them appear to be empty, but you note as they pull one out, they uncork it and they proceed to almost draw a line of this kind of thin line of black and white powder. They otherwise line it around in a small circle around you, and then in a larger circle outside of that as they proceed to almost draw these strange symbols before they sit down and place their hand on the surface of it to where the entirety of the surface of this powder ignites and holds in this light green flame for the duration. For you,
Mm-hmm.
this would be a very much a zooming out effect. It's very strong.
I see.
And
Divination.
you begin to feel it almost begin to not wash over you, but you get a sense of it drawing out and away from you. As you begin to feel this magic almost begin to permeate through your body, it begins to tingle to almost a new level of whatever this may be. As you begin to feel like a slight tingling under your skin from this beginning to search through your body. And you are found to be clean.
Yay!
You have no drugs on you. Congrats.
Your surface is notably your surface notably lights up, but it's easier to clean now that it's been officially lit up by a ritual. So it's easier for you to kind of clean up your clothes and the surface of your skin and stuff. It's just a quick wipe down.
At least my boots are okay.
Yeah, your boots are fine. The insides are a bit mucky; they light up, but the outsides are fine, which is questionable. But it happens sometimes. And do we have a Vinny back yet? No. So I would like you, Kay, as you begin to join the crew, go ahead and roll me a d20 then, please.
A D20. My D20 is a 18.
18. Okay. And I will roll for Simon as he is not here. 13. Okay. As you're otherwise approaching, some time goes by, but you otherwise join the rest of the crew around here. A number of the Plague Knights otherwise seeing this larger group of individuals who have simply been recruited just off the cuff and not wearing traditional uniforms or anything.
Except for me.
Except for you, yeah. Yeah, 5 strange individuals and 1 short Plague Knight. as you otherwise stand amongst their group for some time, you don't hear or see anything. Your night goes by uneventful. The hour and a half goes by uneventful, thankfully. None of you rolled low enough for an encounter.
Whoop.
You otherwise grab your things, heading back, and Damien and Lloyd, you were having yourselves checked?
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So, Damien, with your ritual, yours is perfectly clean. There's nothing wrong. You haven't been covered at all. There are slight patches of your arm which need to be like polished off, but that's about it. Lloyd,
Oh no.
as your
What's
ritual
happened
goes
to me?
off, you begin to watch as patches of your skin go kind of green as they mark where the surface is bad, followed by patches of yellow around
Yellow.
around the insides of your elbow and your wrists. To which, as you begin to look across them, like with very close inspection, you see very, very tiny spots. Very, very small spots beginning to form, almost like the developing rash. You have indeed caught blight skin.
Blight skin.
Well,
You don't feel any symptoms yet, as they do not begin to take effect fully yet. But you have indeed been infected.
How does one go about
scorched earth
curing
policy.
this?
The
Hmm.
the scanner in question, who otherwise comes over and just goes, "Well, we can look into. Well, there are a few ways we can do this. We can otherwise just crush whatever remedies and put it on to you as a salve and just hope that it works for the time being. Or we can do a bit more of a deep clean. It's going to be with magic and it's going to hurt, but we can do that.
How long will it take?
About an hour. The pain won't last more than a minute, but it'll hurt. But the full effects won't take place until an hour has passed.
It'll be completely gone.
Should be. If it's not, then something's weird about you and you're more than one person.
Sounds like
More
that
than
may
what?
be a possibility.
One person.
One person.
You never know. We've never tried doing it on things that might be more than one person. Be interesting to try one day, but hopefully not today.
You guys mind waiting?
I'm sorry, I got distracted. What happened?
He's the
I'm
plague
infected
bearer.
with the plague.
He has caught
Oh,
blight skin.
what a time to return.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
I've been
What the
infected with the
hell?
blah.
he catch. What did
So.
he touch?
Do you guys mind waiting?
Sure.
Yeah. Was
Okay.
Vinny okay?
Yes. Vinny, on yours, you found that your body was mostly like covered, but you yourself had not contracted blight skin. It seems that most of the surface contagion that you would have potentially picked up was from the oozes, and thus you haven't been directly in contact, so there's no way that you've failed the save.
Lloyd, what have you been in contact with that we haven't?
That's what I'm trying to think about. I'm gonna spend the time that he's getting
Was
mean-
he
treated thinking.
Was it, yeah, I was just wondering, was it when he was looting all the barrels whilst we were fighting?
I'll
Heads
say. Okay, I'll say, giving it some thought, the fact that you've all been marked as having it on your body suggests that he might have just had a weaker constitution and was more susceptible to the slimes that were carrying it. And he has been hit a lot by slimes.
Yeah, I have been ambushed by like all of them.
Wait a second.
It is true.
I know something he's been hit by that none of us have been hit by. He got spit on.
Yeah,
He
I got
did,
spit
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
That's true. It is fair. So yes, you are cleaned up on the exterior, Lloyd, and do you wish to go through the ritual? Lloyd?
If everyone else wants to wait for me.
Yep.
How long's it
It
gonna
depends.
take?
You can. There are two ways you can do this. You can either have the ingredients put on you in the form of a salve and they have to wait to see recovery, which takes 24 hours, or they can do the ritual, which takes an hour, but you will lose 1d6 maximum hit points until you take the next long rest.
How many max hit points?
1d6.
Ugh, I'm gonna be very weak.
That's what it does. I'm actually going to double check that that's actually how it works. I'm just going to make sure it's not like a D8 or
Now he's
something.
gonna say like 2d7s,
a
and it's gonna take all
D12.
my HP.
It's a D100.
You should know this is a spell that none of you ever used, but you all had access to. Actually, no, maybe only Sasha had access to it, but still.
Wow.
Scroll down a bit further. Oh, it's 2d4, sorry. The spell cannot fatally kill you, but it removes a single disease and poison from the person's body. During the duration, the target is immune to the diseases developing or poisons doing damage or progressing through a person's system. Oh, my apologies. It takes a minute.
Oh.
Not an hour, not half an hour. Oh no, but they're going to ritual cast it, so no, it will take 11 minutes. So it's up to you.
Yeah, I'll
Oh.
do it.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've just realised it's also a Constitution saving throw. On a fail, you lose the health. On a success, you don't, but the effect is, or the disease is still removed.
Okay.
So it's a
My
con-
tabletop has frozen though.
Probably because you've been. I mean, your mouse is. Oh, there you go. It's probably because you've been playing other games.
I haven't.
Uh-huh.
Stop putting stuff that I'm doing when I'm not
Nelson,
doing it.
What have you been watching then?
All right. While
Nothing.
Infernal's
I've just been spazzing out.
while Infernal is sorting himself out and going to be rejoining, do you want to take a quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to take a quick like minute or two break? Given it's past.
Oh, I can finish off my coffee cake that I'm eating. Okay.
I can go get myself a donut.
I can make tea.
I can walk to the
Sort of.
store.
No, you can't.
Wait, Chris, you're walking
No,
down
I
to the police
can't.
station.
Okay.
You're getting a donut.
Yeah, I am getting a donut. All right. We'll be back. We'll be just a minute. And when we return, we'll be continuing on with your little adventure. Don't go anywhere.
And hopefully not dying.
Oh, you don't have to listen to the stupid dwarf sex
Erotica.
Harlan. Yeah, the Harlan.
Thank
Oh.
goodness.
It's
No.
great.
No thanks,
I haven't
What
been
do you
listening to them,
mean?
and I haven't edited them out, which may have been a mistake on my part because I've just been throwing them straight in. I'll give them a look later.
They've
Alright.
really
We'll
not been
figure it out.
bad.
Okay, that's good because I haven't actually checked or removed them, so hopefully they don't get me kicked off of YouTube. All right, be right back. Gonna go get
It
myself-
should be fine.
I mean, I haven't been
Baby.
editing from my side, so
Anybody got any copyright infringement-free lift music? I mean, it's an interlude.
Tabletop.
I mean, at the moment, I've
run.
just got the Mos Eisley Cantina band stuck in my head, and I definitely can't do that. That's copyrighted.
yeah, a little bit.
You've been sued by Lucasfilm, which is now owned by Disney. Yeah, slight problem.
Yeah, it's a fight you're not going to win.
Unless you're the governor of the governor of Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. Disney's getting taxed now by the state. And isn't allowed to provide the different healthcare and other services that it used to be able to run.
Oh, by the way, I didn't miss anything else, did I?
No, because we rolled well, so we went and patrolled by the hole that our friend blew up,
Mm-hmm.
and we all rolled well enough that we didn't end up with an encounter. So daybreak occurred. We returned from our patrol. and then myself and Lloyd got checked, and Lloyd discovered he had light skin because Lloyd's been a very friendly boy with the users.
I got spat on. I'm sorry.
You were well loved. Maybe oozes have many eyes as well, so they mistook you for one of the rest.
That's what you get for picking a fight of every single slime we found.
Yeah, some of them might have been friendly for all we knew.
The only spellcaster that gets into melee range of every single slime we've found.
I'm sorry that I didn't know they go after light, and I got ambushed by every single one.
You told the
I'm
dead
back.
on them all the time.
What?
That was when
What's
we
ever
found
going to
out.
infect you?
It's your fault. You didn't protect me well enough.
Wow.
Not the joke.
Damien's just going to go back to the inn, grab this horse, and just ride out.
Right off into the sunset. Or sunrise.
Sunrise at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would maybe sunrise at this point, yeah. Are we missing anyone at the moment?
As soon as
Just
my
an
tabletop
infernal
wants to
of
load.
tabletop. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
That
someone?
would be concerning if,
I'm
if
here, yeah.
yeah, it'd be concerning if Damien decided to ride off into the sunrise, because he'd be going to territory he really doesn't know. He'd be going east.
So,
It's fine.
Suds is be right back still, I see.
No, I'm here.
No.
Okay.
Well,
I'm just
I mean,
dying.
he's a plague bearer as well, but IRL rather than.
I'm just
No,
dying.
K is suffering from coughing. What's that symptom? Hold up.
That is. Give me 1
Tails.
second. It is coughing.
Coughing isn't
True.
on there.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
have
coughing
had
isn't on there.
coughing before, though.
You
God
had
damn it,
your
it's gonna
chest
keep
hurt.
asking me for a password.
Yes. Do you remember what the password is? No one reads.
Yes, I do, don't worry.
Good.
SpongeBob.
No. Why would you do this, Suds?
Because I'm allowed to.
K, why would you do
Do what? Huh?
Damn it, K again.
K and the ball of chaos? Alright. So
I ate
go
it.
ahead and give me a constitution saving throw when you have loaded in.
Yes, sir. Am I in?
Yes, you are. Your cursor is immediately spazzing like crazy, but you are in.
Ugh! Please.
Alright. The poison and disease is removed from you, and you are no longer suffering the condition of blight skin. I will mark that down. And you do not have your hit point maximum reduced,
Oh, yes.
because you succeeded. Nicely done. Okay. So, with the party now regrouped, patrol over, dawn is beginning to break, and from the east, and the sun is beginning to otherwise. Technically, at this early stage of the morning, you can see the suns are beginning to rise and beginning to cast their light over the horizon before the main beaming light casts its way across, and you begin to see the kind of the light orange and yellow hues of that otherwise coat the land before beginning to give way to the natural light.
I hate sand.
That's got nothing to do with it.
And
There's two
shadows cast
suns.
upon the earth.
There's three. One big one, two small ones.
I ate one of the big ones and made it a small one.
Technically, there was a fourth one before Kay was around.
That one wasn't too hot to handle.
No. It was a cold star.
It was
So-
nice and spicy.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So, you gather yourselves, and after your last minute checks, and after the ritual where you watch as, while Lloyd is sat there, the particular individual goes over, pulls out another one of the vials, uncorks it, and holds it to the edge of Lloyd's skin. You feel like a sharp pierce, and you watch as
And I'm
the
used to
interior-
this pain.
you are used to this pain, and although you've never been exposed to this sort of thing before, you do know, and from your history of what's happened, you do see what looks to be a leech on the inside of this, just against the edge of your skin, just kind of growing and undulating as it is beginning to draw blood out of you, and you watch as this kind of thick, almost red magic begins to coat the outside of your arm, and you watch as those yellow patches are pulled away from them, and you feel uncomfortable throughout the entire ritual of 11 minutes in this piercing pain and the disgusting image as you look away, before you eventually hear kind of this natural sucking sound, and the cork is put back on the top as the leech is now full and the spell is complete.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, with that, the captain in question, the otherwise the large stone dragonborn individual, wanders over, kind of has a look, points out one individual who wanders over, says a few things to them before gesturing over, and you watch as one comes over. Right, are you ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is your name Sebastian?
Yes, I'm Sebastian still.
I don't know. You will look the same to us.
No, that's fair. Well, that's kind of the point. Right, well, let's head out then. Do you know what part of the city we're heading out of?
Northwest,
north.
wasn't it?
Northgate.
North, yeah.
Northgate.
Right,
Towards
okay.
that general area.
Alright, let's head out then. I'll get you through the gates. Well, we've got something written up, so we should be okay to leave as is. Let's go. With the early morning passing, you otherwise leaving through the northern gate out into the open air, the green lands that lie beyond, the trees and everything else, you are welcomed into a rather more pleasant outside, shall we say. As you can see the exterior of the, no longer confined by the city itself, you can see the wooden palisade that wraps around the edge, the small tower not far from here, along with the gathering nomads and caravans that wait outside, seemingly waiting for some form of movement to take place. You are led out. Where do you go?
Matt,
Mm.
didn't you ages ago want to check over the area more thoroughly than when you did?
Yeah, what
with,
didn't she appear like
Jeff?
here?
Yeah.
It was kind of north of the tower a little, wasn't it? But
North of the tower,
North of the
beyond where the
tower,
map
yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
did you want to actually properly look it over?
Well, I mean, that would probably be a good place to start.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so north
Okay.
of the tower.
Okay. Heading north of the tower, travelling along the road a little way. I'll say keeping Sebastian informed, given the circumstance, and also speaking this out loud. You head over to that particular area. What are you looking for in particular?
What's the clearing? They were playing ball, weren't they? So I guess
I am going to look for any lingering smell.
if
Okay.
I've got time, I'm
Odd
gonna cast
smell, I
detect
guess I should
magic
say.
ritually.
Okay. Casting Detect Magic and looking for smells. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to do in particular?
I would like to use parallel vision.
Okay. Casting Parallel Vision. Okay.
Which increases my passive perception to how much?
I believe it's by your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, so it would be +2.
Plus
What's our
2, so it goes
proficiency?
up to 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anything else anyone else would like to do?
I think I've got to wait, given that we've kind of been escorted here, to sort of head back and look at the tower, so that they keep an eye on us and we don't just disappear suddenly.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair.
Yeah, I was just hoping to have a general look around for either to see if we could find the ball, because I don't think that was ever accounted for.
Yeah, that's probably the thing that
Or
I'd probably be
just to
looking
look for
for.
signs that people have been here.
Yeah, any
Okay.
bits of thread that might have been caught on something in the clearing, or
Okay. So I will say, Damien and Vinny, where you're doing general checks, go ahead and roll me. One of you go ahead and roll me investigation. Given this is general and a month has passed since all of this, it will be disadvantage countered by the advantage of you two helping one another. Kay is looking for odd smells, not necessarily recent ones, so go ahead and roll me a perception check there. Lloyd, I'll tell you what you spot in a moment.
Cool.
Kat, you're casting Detect Magic at this time, and Romulus is going to keep talking
Okay.
to the guard. Oh, okay.
do you want to have a look at? Yeah, do you want to roll? Sorry, Vinny.
I guess it should be whichever of us has the highest.
Oh, what,
Each of
highest
you will
investigation?
I will say this. Each of you will notice different things based on personal history.
Hmm.
So it doesn't particularly matter. DCs will change, but as does the result, depending on if you succeed or not.
I probably assist you, Vinny.
Okay. Cool. So
Yeah.
regular roll because advantage and disadvantage.
Yeah.
cancel.
Yep. Yeah, for things like that, don't rely necessarily on who's got the higher, because sometimes we just get different results anyway.
Yeah, it's fair. That's the 10 then.
That's a 10. Okay. I will say, with the 10, you otherwise look around. It's been a month. Grass has grown. It's been raining every now and then. Any footprints or anything else that would have been left behind are gone. There's not really much else to say. There is fresh dew, and as you otherwise kind of kick about, it is soft mud. If there were footprints, they've definitely disappeared since then. Either been churned up or time has passed.
Yeah, no sign of the ball, which was the big clue we were looking for.
Lloyd,
Yes.
with your passive perception reaching 20 as you stand there and focus for the moment before casting parallel vision, the rest of your eyes kind of almost simultaneously glow and give this almost immediate flash and flare before fading back to their usual coloration. As you begin to look around, you get almost these strange senses and lines as you begin to look around the area in question. As you begin to kind of do a cursory glance over, you do note something. And as you kind of step over to it, you see Kay crouched on all fours, currently very much on the ground, sniffing what looks to be a singular footprint. Small, probably youngish, maybe about the equivalent of maybe about 2/3 of a traditional foot.
Does it look fresh or old?
It looks, strangely enough, it looks fresh, but the print is rigid. Where you might expect a soft imprint and then a pulling out of this kind of lighter earth or mud, it's not. It's cut almost, as if someone has cut a print rather than trodden in it. It's strange.
Like a fake footprint?
Kind of. It's strange. It's not what you would naturally adhere to a normal footprint, either suggesting it was made like 5 seconds ago, or for one reason or another it's just looks almost strangely artificial. Kay, as you're crouched on all fours and as you're otherwise sniffing the air around, there's a moment as you're kind of looking around and your nose picks up on something. You begin to kind of wander off momentarily before you end up kind of face to face with Lloyd as you sniff, and you can smell a very sweet smell. Almost fruity.
I am gonna follow the smell.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a survival check. Okay. Total?
17.
17. You begin to try and follow it as you stand up a bit better and you begin to follow the smell as best you can. It seems to be heading westward.
I immediately follow him and like look around as if towards where he's heading.
Okay. Looking around as you're moving where he's heading, you look ahead and you can see what looks to be on the dirt and otherwise slightly cobbled path of the particular road that runs through here. You can see what looks to be kind of dusted footprints leading across and then lead back into the dirt and mud beyond, where where the ground continues to be soft. But you watch as they lead off and almost follow parallel to the actual roadside itself for a brief time before heading, or notably heading southward parallel back towards the town. So let's see, I can't really draw this. How can I do this?
Just like draw the road here, I guess.
Well, I can use the map up here. I'm just gonna plonk down some tokens and show you the rough pathing. Oh, no, wrong button. What's the button to make things smaller? I've forgotten all of a sudden. Minus, thank you. Brain just forgot how to do tabletop.
Tabletop.exe has stopped working.
Mm-hmm. So this is how far you get. The rest of you who at this point have noticed that Kay and Lloyd have begun wandering off.
Wait, so we went from here all the way up to here, and then we're heading back? Or
And now you're heading back, yes.
Uh-huh. Hey, what is this one here?
This is as far you got before the party began to realise that you were wandering off.
Oh, right, okay.
Since we got here.
Hmm?
How long's it been since we got here?
I'd say probably... Given the roll, I'd say it was pretty quick unto it for that to happen, followed by the survival check, so probably 6-7 minutes. So detect magic hasn't gone off yet.
No.
So you can choose to cancel and follow suit if you're wanting to, or you can sit it out and then catch up.
I'll sit it out and catch up.
Kay seems to be sauntering. He doesn't seem to be rushing off, like sprinting away.
Okay,
Did
He's
we-
carefully
I'm not-
following the scent.
Yeah, I am being careful.
The rest of you have noticed.
We've noticed them missing, or did we see which way they
You
went?
notice them wandering off.
Okay.
I'd say Sebastian does as well with Romulus, as they kind of begin to catch up. Romulus kind of turns to the rest of you and calls.
Right. Well, we haven't really found much here. So if they've found something, we should probably follow on.
I suppose I'd like to quickly look in the tower.
That's all right. Kat, are you coming?
Yeah, just give me a couple of minutes. I'll be done.
Okay. I'll wait with
Romulus
you then.
kind of-
August.
Yeah. I'll say Romulus looks back and goes, I can stay with her if need be.
Right, you are then. Damien, do you want me to come with you to that tower, or?
Yeah, what's Sebastian doing?
Sebastian's going to be going and meeting up with Kay and Lloyd.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, well, you know where we'll be.
Okay. So, I'll say go into the tower then. You otherwise head towards the tower. You can see that the door is otherwise open, and you can see what looks to be a flamekeeper guard currently standing there watching what's going on. The bright orange cloak and mantle to him, the light feathers and the helmet to his side. As he's otherwise standing there with a spear to one side and a shield leaning against the other side of the doorway as he looks out. Kind of sees the two of you coming, kind of stands a little bit more to attention, kind of puts the helmet back on and picks up his shield. Hey, what is going on out here?
We're just investigating in relation to the illness that is affecting inside the city. I was just curious if you can see the people over there from your tower, pointing to Cat.
We can do, yes. You can clearly see quite a lot of the area from the top of the tower. If you're looking just for, like, arrow slits, you can see the road quite happily from the second floor.
Do you have
Oh no, first floor. Sorry.
do you have sort of guards on duty at all times?
Yes, these towers always have at least 5 guards on duty at all times, usually more. We've had a few of them stripped away to help with guarding the town entrance as of recent, but they're always available. We have a bell should need be if there is an attack of some form.
Okay, that's cool. Are you do you or do you know if any of the guards that are currently on duty remember seeing a group of children playing? It was a good few weeks ago in the clearing over there with a small girl in a blue dress.
There's plenty of children that otherwise play out there. Not of recent, given what's going on. I can
No,
ask.
this would have been right before then.
Right before the stopping, you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
I can ask, but I don't know if anyone will remember back that far. You hear him head inside before you hear kind of a general shout. Does anyone remember a girl in a blue dress? There's dead silence before he kind of comes back out. No one said anything if they did remember.
That's fair. I suppose it was a long shot. If it helps at all, she would have looked different from the other children in the village.
Different
noble.
how?
He was quite.
Noble? Children are children, noble or not.
She was
As
quite
they would have mentioned it.
pale, noticeably paler
Yeah,
than most
smartly
people.
dressed with a.
I mean, your
Fair
friend
point.
looks quite pale from this distance, but that's probably just because of the sunlight. It's a little bit hard to tell from this distance. We can see forms, not details.
No, that's fair enough.
Okay.
I suppose even if you had seen her, as it says, a few weeks ago.
If you're looking for more details regarding a particular child, they probably came from the outer city, or even in the new part of the city on the inside if they're posh.
Okay. Thank you for your time. That was helpful. And safe sentineling.
Thanks.
Invent a new word.
Safe nighting. Kind of just gives a general look of almost idiocy before letting you go about your business. You catch up with your friends. Cat, you finish your ritual. Your friends are a little bit off in the distance, but you finish up your detect magic.
Okay. Now.
How long does it last?
It lasts 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Okay.
Am I seeing anything?
You give a cursory glance. You can't seem to see anything. If you wish to stay and do a little bit more investigating, it will eat time away from your party.
No, I'll head towards the party, but I'll keep an eye out as I'm looking around, as I'm catching up.
Okay. You continue on your way then, otherwise heading down the path following where they went. You keep an eye out for magic as you continue. So at this point, given you're just following a track at this point, I will just use K. K. You continue on, following down this otherwise dirt path. The footprints have now disappeared, but the scent is still there. It does proceed to linger before getting weaker and weaker, though. You can choose to speed up, potentially leaving Cat and Romulus behind some way, or you can maintain a careful approach, allowing them to catch up, but it does mean the DC will get slowly harder as you go.
I'm choosing to speed up because it's something, and I don't want to lose it.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a survival check then, please.
Is there any way I can aid him from being behind him?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Ah.
Go ahead and roll with advantage, as you have. Also, you have the careful eyes of the passive perception of Lloyd, giving a coast clear. Okay. You continue on your way, proceeding to pick up the pace as you begin to make your ways away, and I will use Cat and Romulus as this far behind. You continue to make your way across this dirt path, and you can see the other tower ahead of you and the other road at this point, as you are continuing to run in this direction. The rest of you otherwise following suit, I imagine?
Yeah.
Keeping up pace?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You continue on. Anything you wish to do as you begin to approach the junction?
Other than focus on the smell, no. I'm not getting distracted by anything.
Okay.
Lloyd, make sure I don't get run over by a car.
Yeah, I'm keeping an all-seeing eye.
Okay. Would you continue on your way going this way? Cat and Romulus, I'd say you're about here. As Kay, you continue down the road, the smell begins to fade, and the DC becomes even harder. Even at your full speed, whatever the scent of this is, it's beginning to fade. Go ahead and make me one final survival check. I'll say this will be countering your advantage with disadvantage because of the smell sense.
Probably not. 13.
13. You continue to follow it. How far do you wish to go until you can no longer smell it properly?
Until I can't smell it at all.
Bandalux.
Okay. At this point, you continue on. I think at this point it would be worth switching to the other map.
Oh my.
So let's borrow Kay from a moment here, and he will be party leader. I'll say, Cat, you and Romulus, given your increased speed, do eventually catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And plus with what will happen here.
We can always dash at the end a little bit.
Yeah. So, Kay, for about the next hour and a half, you're following a scent, leading on, Sebastian kind of panting as he goes. I would like everyone to make me athletics checks, please.
Oh boy.
It's not good, is
Lloyd's
it?
pushing himself with his stick.
Oh God.
Athletics, you say? Okay.
Oh, I
Okay,
got
Romulus. Romulus got a 12. Okay.
I got a 13.
I got an 11.
I got an 8.
Oh, good grief.
Cat.
How,
Oh,
how
I
am I
clearly
doing the
got a
best?
nat 20. I mean, come on. I've got a 1.
Unnatural 1. Yep.
Unnatural 1.
Mm-hmm. And what did you get there, Kay?
7.
Oh,
7.
Christ.
Okay.
How am I the most physically fit? Hello?
So, what did you get there, Lloyd?
13?
13.
roll
Okay.
above me?
No, Romulus got a total of 12 with his plus 6 because he rolled poorly. So, Lloyd and Romulus are the only two which are unaffected here. What did you get? Sorry, Damien?
11.
Okay, you're fine as well.
Whew.
So, Kay, Vinny, and Kat, you have a choice. You can use one resource of your choice or take a point of exhaustion. So you can use one hit die, one spell point. You can use one use of a feature that you have.
I will use my hit die.
Okay.
How many? I will also use a hit die.
Okay.
Yeah, I might as well. I don't really use them.
Oh, also, Vinny, note, you are a 3rd level tiefling now, so you also have Hellish Rebuke unlocked as well now.
Yes, good point.
Something we also forgot, but a resource you can choose to expend if you wish, so do note that. As in the attrition system, I don't want to just give you out exhaustion points for failed athletics checks all the time. Let's slowly work away those other resources of yours.
No, I'm going to spend the hit die.
Okay. And Cat?
Yeah, I'll use a hit die.
Okay. All burning a hit die for this. Good to know. You continue on your way, feeling the exhaustion but pushing through for the majority of you as you end up making a way to this particular portion where Kay, you stop, and the sense of smell is immediately overridden by a sense of clarity. Almost like a
Where?
muddled sense. You feel lightly confused before you feel like a sense of, like a washing wave of, I'm fine. And for the first time in a while, there's a strange smile on your face.
That no one can see.
And no one can see.
Even the all-seeing eye cannot see through a mask.
Even the all-seeing eye. There's slight creases in his mask. Very faint creases. Now,
He must be getting tired.
I actually didn't prepare my tiles for this. Should it come up? So
Oh
do
boy.
that for now.
I will say I will be
I'll prepare them
completely
again.
fucking useless if there's a battle. I have 0 spell points.
I have 3.
So
I have 0.
always gonna have 0 for a while.
Hey, I got 2! Yay!
Yeah. So hey, you've got a a full kitted Sebastian.
Yeah,
He's had a long
and
rest.
you
He's
got.
looking
Is
fighting
he level
fit.
3?
There you go, he can deal with it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a
Oh,
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he's not a
he's
captain
gonna
actually, so
destroy
he
them.
is slightly weaker, but so he doesn't have 3rd level spells, but he has 2nd level spells.
Alright, he's gonna destroy them all.
Actually,
He's now
no,
okay.
because he's a paladin, he's a half caster, so no, he wouldn't have 2nd level spells. He only has 1st. He is going to spend a hit die, however, to shrug off that point of exhaustion for his failed athletics check.
Even he failed. Wow, we all
He
did
rolled-
so splendidly.
He rolled a natural 2. You know, sudden
You all
cardio
need
at
more
6 a.m.
discipline.
Yeah.
You need
from
more
your-
discipline.
From your background, that's cold. So, as you otherwise arrive at this point and you stop, Kay, you look around and you can see a path leading off southwest in this direction towards the mountain line. And you, in this early morning light, I'd say, Lloyd, you're probably the first to pick up on it. There is a blue haze in the distance, like a sea blue
haze.
or cyan.
What does haze entail again? Like a
A
mist?
color of light similar to that of a mist, yes. So in this particular instance, you'd be looking out and you'd see almost like a portion of the horizon looks blue. Just a portion of it, like a chunk of it, not a lot of it.
Uh-huh. Okay, be careful.
But you
There's
see it,
some blue mist.
it deviates off of the regular road, but you have stopped at this particular junction.
Hmm.
I'm gonna wait for everybody to catch up.
We've got
Everybody's caught up.
Oh.
I'd say there's, yeah, because they got 5 extra foot of movement speed. They would have caught over the course of the hour and a half.
And the smell is completely gone, you said?
From what Kay can tell, yeah.
okay.
But
I'm
it
gonna
stops at this
send
junction.
Jeff up. See if I can see any movement.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check with Jeff, then, please. How far are you sending Jeff?
I'm gonna keep sending her up until I don't know.
We talking straight up?
Yeah. To start with, it's gonna be up and looking round in circles to see what's going on, and then if there's movement, possibly head that direction.
Go ahead.
Come on, Jeff. Be a good boy. That's 16.
16. Flying straight up, Jeff otherwise gives a look out across the horizon. Jeff, too, can see almost this bluish like section of the horizon, which seems to cover a large portion of it. As you can see, a few trees on the other side, and this path that leads down it. You don't see movement, however.
That's very odd. I'm gonna start heading towards the mist.
That does seem
Mhm.
suspicious.
Yeah.
Towards the mist.
Are you moving as a party towards it, or is it just Jeff?
Well, I'm
Um,
taking Jeff. Obviously, I don't know what the party are doing. I'm assuming.
Okay.
Yeah, Bromwell's
I'm going.
watch out.
Yeah,
see
I'm
what's going
down
on.
to go
Okay.
that way.
I
I will, however, warn the party.
Yes. I'd say pointing out the rest of the party, you can all see it as well as you proceed your way down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What was it you
Kind of
found, by the way?
Smell.
He smelled something. I saw a footprint, but it seemed almost fake, as if it was like just made.
I smelled fruit tea thing.
That could be the perfume then. Right. Well,
given I'm supposed to travel with you, I'll stay by your side for the time being. And given that you guys haven't had like a proper rest in a while, I imagine you're still a little bit exhausted from the earlier day.
Yes, if we do get into a fight, I don't know how much use I'll be.
That's fine. I'll stick with
Damn
given how long it's been. He kind of looks up at the sun, kind of trying to get a gauge of the time. Right, so it's getting close to mid-morning. Okay. I'd say we can probably travel down here for a little ways, and then we might have to head back, just to report what we found, unless you want to pursue this further. We can obviously stay MIA for a bit, but, you know, we kind of gave them no word, we just ran off. Or I can go back and let them know, but I should probably stay with you, just in case.
I'd recommend staying with us.
Right. I'll stay with you then, but we should probably turn back if it gets to probably 4 or 5 hours from now, just so we can get back while light's still out.
Yeah, okay, that seems reasonable.
Okay.
You don't want to
if
get
we
like
don't, if we
go through
don't
the west
find
gate.
anything in that time.
Go through the west gate and get ambushed by slimes. That would be awkward.
Of course. Okay. You begin to head down the path. At what kind of pace? Do you wish to move at a faster pace, allowing you to travel further, but obviously with less of a stealth nature about your party? Do you wish to travel at a medium pace, getting the best of both worlds, or do you wish to travel at a slow pace, allowing you to be a bit more stealthy, but obviously not going as far?
I mean, we have about 4 hours, so I don't see any reason to go fast. We don't necessarily know exactly what's here.
Yeah.
And if we go too fast, we might miss something.
And I don't want to get ambushed.
I would say, Cat, your detect magic's obviously worn off because you've been
Mhm.
running for about an hour and a half, and
Yeah.
parallel visions. What's the duration on it?
Parallel vision. It's until I take a rest.
Oh, okay, so it's just going to last. Okay,
Yeah, it's just gonna last.
cool, noted. Okay. And
So
is Jeff still keeping
normal?
surveillance? From that
Yeah,
point?
yeah. I'm still going to be
Cool.
looking through Jeff, so I'll be jumping back and forward, like vision wise. But if we move
Okay.
out, then if Romulus can guide me, just hold
Yeah,
my
that'll
hand,
be
what
fine.
have you, and yeah, I'll be going closer and closer to the mist within range. I'm not going to take Jeff out of range.
Okay.
See what's going on.
So,
And normal.
normal pace.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, traveling at a normal pace, you continue along the roadway as it is. It's not a bad roadway. It's a well-maintained and to a certain degree seems well-traveled, but you can see there are sections of it which have begun to crack and some smaller weeds are beginning cracking through it. You can see areas to either side where there's kind of large clumps of weeds and bushes, some small clearings where there may have been old posts that have been since uprooted or rotted away. But you continue on, and as things begin to get clearer, go ahead and roll me a perception check for Jeff, please.
It's 21.
21. You don't only begin to see more of a defined reason for what this is, but you know what this is. As Jeff gets a look over it, you begin to see what looks to be a crystal field, with blue crystals otherwise growing in their clumps. But you can see large plants have grown over them, and the crystals are abnormally large, almost as if left to grow wild.
Is a crystal. Sorry.
Crystal field. This is
Crystal
something you've
field.
probably never come across,
Yeah.
but you've heard of.
So
So,
I
I mean-
typed loudly at the time you said crystal, and then I missed the word out.
I'll be
Crystal field.
relaying that to the party. I'll be saying the thing. So
I
if
assume I've
it's
never heard of that.
Mm-mm.
It's a crystal field, but it looks like it's just been left to nature, which is strange.
Crystal field.
Is it supposed to be maintained?
Yeah, definitely, because they're valuable. They're the things that are going in the lanterns and stuff, and
Oh, the convenience
Yeah.
crystals.
yeah. So
And
that's
they're also the things
really
those oozes were eating.
yes, they were.
Interesting. So you'll have to forgive me. I'm from a ways away. What's the deal with crystal fields then?
They're grown in fields. They are maintained by abbots. And then
Not
are sort
always,
of
but mostly.
not always, but a lot of the time. And then they're sort of distributed so they can produce light, or you can produce water, or purify water, or they're used in fields to deter pests, things like that.
Huh. Right. So the
That's-
convenience crystals then.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do you have to do anything to them to make them do that, or?
Don't think so.
I'd say go ahead and roll me an Arcana check to see your exact detail on convenience crystal construction. Whether
Okay.
it's just a matter if they grow and then you just chuck them in, or if you need to manufacture them in some way.
That's a 7.
Okay. I'll say with that, you don't know of any process, but you know that abbots are the ones who maintain them, but you know that ordinary people don't. So it suggests there's a method, but you have no idea what it might involve.
I don't know what the method is, but it's certainly a specialised field because it's only abbots really who grow them and help make them into convenience crystals.
What happens if they go wild then?
That I definitely don't know.
I'll say those trained in Arcana, go ahead and give me an Arcana check. With the
I'm
exception
still looking through
of-
Jeff, so I'm not hearing this
Yeah,
conversation.
I assume that they need a
Okay.
trainer and a couple of Pokeballs.
I do
I'm
not
guessing
have
with the exception of me.
I was gonna say with the exception of you, yeah. Because there's...
Wait, am I? Am I trained as well?
I'm not trained in Arcana.
I swear, if I'm the only one trained in Arcana.
I am, but I'm not here.
I say
Yeah,
I'm not. I think.
Cat's up in the sky at the moment, technically.
I'm high,
All right.
man.
Just thinking, would there be any feasible way that Kay would have come across these? I don't think so. So unfortunately not.
Are you sure I wouldn't have seen any in the mountains?
No, they tend not to grow in mountains, strangely enough.
Weird. Alright. Well,
Well, correction, they do, but they aren't blue.
So, hang
well,
on,
I
who's
guess
rolling
nobody's
then?
rolling.
Well, there's
No.
there's no way in hell Vinny knows anything about this.
No.
I mean, I in theory do, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say you haven't ever looked. You've never encountered inconvenient or crystal fields in this manner before. You don't know what happens if they go wild. You don't know if this is intentional. You don't have enough information here because it's not something you've come across. You've heard of them, but
Yeah.
unless you're trained in Arcana, this wouldn't be something you'd know.
So nobody can roll.
Not currently, no.
Okay. I'm gonna send Jeff down slightly closer, and I'm gonna jump back to me. So, these crystals are massive compared to what you normally see them as.
Define massive.
Substantially bigger than what I've seen them previously.
I'd say, given that high 21, you know that these crystals probably stand anywhere between the smaller ones, which probably stand at about 2 feet tall, to the big ones, which are probably about 15 to 20 feet tall and very overgrown.
So they're about 2 to 15 foot? Previously when I saw, how big were they roughly then?
About a foot in size at most.
So
But
normally,
they were very well maintained and kept in order.
normally they're maintained and they grow at about a foot. Like even the smallest ones are twice the size of what I've historically seen.
Okay, that's kind of scary because that's taller than Romulus, and Romulus is the tallest thing I've probably ever seen.
Normally they're maintained. I'm not sure what's going on.
We need to approach with caution in that case, but we still need to investigate, surely, because
Quite possibly.
If the smell was coming from this direction, then, or heading to this direction, then
I didn't see
Yeah.
any movement ahead.
well, I mean, they're quite large, and you say they're overgrown, so they could be hiding
Could well
if they're
possibly be.
in there.
hmm.
I suggest we approach with caution.
Hmm.
By the way, Chris, are the crystals the same color as the haze?
Yes, they are blue.
Okay.
They seem to be what was giving off the haze.
Right,
The
yeah.
light seemed to be distorted on the edge of the crystals, creating this weird light haze, which, when approached from a different angle and height, seemed to have alleviated some of that in the early morning sun.
Hey, Vinny. You might want to keep an eye on Kay. There's a lot of residual magic in that area, and I don't really understand what goes on, but magic seems to affect him.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on him. By the way, Kay, was the smell getting weaker before we got here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You think that's because we were losing time on whatever the source of the smell was, or just the trail was going cold?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how quickly do smells normally dissipate? We are outside.
Fast? Well, actually,
I'm
what's the wind like?
Testing the wind on today's day, it's not that windy. But even then, smells typically do still dissipate fairly quickly.
I'm afraid one of my proficiencies is not particle physics.
Still fast,
Nope.
even with no wind. But it started fading while we were still near the city, and still managed to make it all the way here with me still smelling it.
Okay, so in that case, if it was the girl, she's not going to be far away. She was still sort of getting faster than us, but okay. Yeah, I'd say we approach with caution.
Okay.
Jeff
In which
is ahead of
case-
us, landed on a tree. Just so you know.
Landing on a tree?
He's landed
Okay.
on a tree before I jump back, so...
Okay. In which case, give me a perception. Or he's landed on the tree before you jump back?
Yeah, he's landed on the tree before I jump back, so...
Okay. Go ahead and make me a perception check for Jeff, then, please. This will be a second one just as a follow up. Also, if only can hear you breathing
that
lightly.
is 12.
Oh, sorry.
No, 11.
Listen.
Sorry.
11?
Mhm.
Looking through Jeff's eyes and looking across just in the general area, there don't seem to be any birds in the area. Doesn't seem to be any life. Or at least not plant life. And as you otherwise approach down, you don't see insects, mites, nothing. As you watch as Jeff otherwise goes over and lands on a tree nearby, there's almost this moment of still calm, as you can see almost like this light haze, almost like shifting light over the edge of the crystals. Almost mirage-esque. Or heatwave, or heat would be a better example of it.
Oh, like a heat haze sort of thing.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Okay, well, if we're going to carry on progressing forward, I'm going to jump back to Jeff, go down to the ground, pick up a stone of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
and drop it onto a crystal. Does it bounce?
As you fly Jeff up, you drop the stone. The stone falls. You hear a resounding tink sound. And you watch as the surface of one of the crystals immediately begins to lighten up for a moment, before you watch as it breaks off in small chunks, before flying upwards towards Jeff at a rapid pace. What's Jeff's AC?
Not great. His AC is 12.
Jeff is eviscerated in seconds.
Okay, just back to cat.
Your vision of Jeff just disappears as the last things you see. I want you to make me a perception check here.
Okay. Oh god, my perception. Oh my god, wow.
Okay.
That is... I think do I have a negative on perception? Yeah, I do. That's 18.
18. Looking in your perception, remembering the last bit of it as you kind of breathe for a moment, you imagine back and you think, am I imagining things? The small chunks of crystal that pulled off flew upwards at a rapid pace in blurs of black, blue, and yellow before striking against the outside of Jeff, and with Jeff's eyes, you saw large mandibles biting into him as he disappeared.
Okay. Guys, we have a problem. I mean, Jeff's gone.
Wait, what do you mean gone?
Well, I used Jeff to pick up a stone and drop it on the crystals to see, if there was any latent magic or if it's going to cause to be a problem. The stone bounced, ended up with 3 rays of light coming towards Jeff, and I swear that it was mandibles that bit him.
I'll say, Lloyd, you watched as small specks of light went upwards, shot up towards Jeff. Jeff disappears before they fluttered back down onto the surface of the crystal again.
There is also no life over there. So,
that's terrifying.
if we're heading that direction, air caution. If the crystals start to react, back off. I can't tell you how strong this is. I mean, if they've been left to their own devices and grown powerful.
This is a very fast streaks of light attack.
Sebastian, have you ever encountered anything vaguely like this?
We don't tend to grow crystals around the keep at all back where I'm from. They're connected to a disease known as mana fever, so we tend not to hold on to them at all. We use them in controlled environments, obviously, as convenience crystals, but in their raw form, they're dangerous.
I think we just discovered that.
How do they cause this disease? Just ambiently, or do you have to interact with them in some way?
From my understanding, I actually can't say. Most individuals that have had mana fever in the past, it's usually a 1 to 2 person thing. It's not that contagious. It's usually like someone gets injured and they've got mana fever. I guess a cut or abrasion? I can't say. I don't actually know.
Well, it's a good thing nobody here is injured.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Done.
Oh dear. Okay.
Okay, here's what I'm going to suggest. The only clue we have points here, so we can't just ignore it. But at the same time, these crystals seem dangerous. So we want to give them a wide berth.
We go around them?
Well, we're... How far? We ran for about an hour?
You ran for about an hour and a half, and it's been 2 hours, given you started walking before you got close to them. In reference to what you roughly see, you've got the road ahead of you. You've got trees to the left, which are beginning to kind of get denser as you go a little bit further, almost like a small pocket forest. You've got the mountains beyond that, and you've got the crystals to the right. So you've either got the road, the crystals, or the woods. Or the mountains if you want to take a really wide berth, but at that point you'd be running out of time, according to what you said to Sebastian.
Maybe we come back tomorrow when we're ready to fight.
I mean, we can if you want to, if you wanted to get a rest. The main thing I'm worried about more is, obviously, if this trail is here and present. If it disappears and it doesn't come back and people get more infected, It's your call. If you don't feel like you're ready to go past whatever the crystals are, it can give you some time to look up this sort of stuff if you need to. The hospice might have details regarding mana fever, I don't know.
I think
There
we
might
need
even be more
to...
things to hear from.
The abbots will have an idea as to what might happen if they go untamed, because they grow them. So I think it might be possibly worth going back.
There's nothing wrong. this path isn't going to disappear. It seems to only go in one direction. So long as we can find the dead
Yeah.
path again, it shouldn't be a problem.
Would the abbots in town be the ones growing these, or would there be another group outside the city? I mean, it's a bit of a journey.
We outsource ours from the keep. We don't get ours from abbots. There are trained enchanters that work in crystal growing, and I know that further south, they grow them in based on who has the land. They grow in particular sites. I don't know the exacts, but they grow in quite abundance in the Lavato Hills. But the ones that we grow there are green.
Hmm.
I don't entirely know why they're blue here,
Ah,
unless it's a particular variety.
the blue ones were the ones that I saw, and they were way up north.
I'd say, Cat, go ahead and give me an Arcana check here.
Okay. It's 20.
Okay. I'd say you know from your vague interaction with them, but you had some time to do research on this sort of stuff. I would say the information you know about them is they grow in typically in areas with a fairly good ambient magic in the area, but you also know that their color is based on area. So the blue ones are the common ones. They're the ones that you can typically get in most locations quite easily. Green is typically areas of lush environments such as forests. Black or grey is in areas of swamp. You've got brown in the mountains, and you can also get red ones in the mountains as well. Orange ones are typically grown in canyons. Yellow ones are typically grown on mountain tops, but those ones are extremely rare and hard to get, hence why they're such a high price. And white ones are grown in cold climates, and dark blue are grown underwater.
Okay, I'll relay that then. That's kind of like how that works. So obviously
It's
these
based,
are quite common.
yeah, it's based on environmental charge, effectively.
So they're not the most powerful. The green ones that you grow, or grown where you know, would be more powerful than these.
But wouldn't it be different depending on size, though?
I mean,
I'd say with that
Possibly.
Arcana roll as well, size of the crystals does matter to a certain degree, but after they get past a certain point, they become useless because the magic gets dispersed through the entire crystal.
so
Think of
basically,
it like,
think of the
think of it
crystal, the more
like,
diluted the magic per the
yeah,
area.
exactly.
Okay.
Think of it like a shot versus, say, for example, like you
shot
get
in some
swill
alcohol,
or
drink.
yeah. If you had like a shot of alcohol, it's very concentrated alcohol. But if you were then to take that shot, put it into a 1 liter jug, and then fill it with water, that would be the difference. It effectively takes the same amount of magic and it spreads it out throughout a larger area, thus making it weaker and useless.
Okay. So them crystals, the larger ones, are gonna be useless. I mean, the amount of magic is kind of capped to how much they can hold, and then having the larger area just means that the magic is a lot more spaced out. So they've got the same amount of power as a normal one, but are just on a much larger physical scale rather than magical.
If the crystals stop accumulating power, then beyond a certain size, doesn't that mean that all of the ones should be as powerful as the one that killed Jeff?
Theory, yes.
Okay, one thing that I think is something I have glossed over slightly. The crystals stop absorbing magic when they get to a certain size. They still radiate magic the bigger they get, which is why they get dangerous. The bigger they are, the more dangerous they are because the larger surface area of magic they're releasing. I guess the best way to look at it in that regard would be think of it like a dam. If you had a lot of water behind the dam and you had a very small exit point, that's a small crystal. It's controlled, it's a small amount. But the moment you make that hole bigger and bigger, the more water's coming through. The volume behind the dam, however, doesn't change.
Okay.
So the bigger they are, the more dangerous they are because they expand or because they can release more to the area around them, thus making them dangerous and more charged, which then charges the nearby crystals, allowing them to grow bigger. So it can cascade violently out of control. But you also know there are natural processes in life. You don't know what they are, but there are natural processes in the wild which cause it to break, shatter, or weaken, causing them to decrease in size for one reason or another.
Okay.
So,
Right. Well, there's one thing. There's one thing I'd thought about. There's probably like a facility out here.
I mean, there'd be a keeper's hut, I would believe. I mean,
If it's specialized enchanters doing this, they'd probably want to have something on site. Could we? Don't want to get too close to the crystals, but maybe give them a wide berth. Go around the outside, see if we can spot it.
Sort of search the perimeter.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that seems a good idea. Before we probably go back.
Okay. So, with that
Okay.
being the case, I'll do a quick drawing for clarity here. So, you have the pathway going seemingly in a straight line, I'll say, just because that's roughly what it would be. It would be straight for the most part. You have the field on the right, which is comparably quite a distance in most directions. And then you have the forest on the left-hand side. You have a choice on which way you want to go. What do you mean by keeping a perimeter and what direction? So are you going to be going round the long way? In which case you don't know how much time that could take. You could guess if one of you wanted to try. You could try going through the forest if that's what you mean, because it's a single shorter edge as opposed to 3 edges. Or they're straight through the middle. You have different choices of pathway here. You also don't know if the crystal fields are odd shapes, and now you don't have aerial surveillance to give you an exact shape on what it's like, so it's hard to tell.
How do I get Jeff back? Do I need to find a brazier?
No. Braze is just to summon him. You just need the ritual and 10 gold pieces of incense and charcoal, which is consumed.
Okay, right.
Which I believe you brought extra of just in
I
case.
did. How long's ritual? 10 minutes, isn't it? I think.
10 minutes. It's either 10 minutes or an hour to bring Jeff back. I can't remember which.
Yeah, fine for me.
Because it's different from his
It's an
initial
hour.
casting time.
Yeah, it's an hour, so it'll take an hour and 10.
Okay.
Or hour and whatever.
Yeah, just double check the full description of the spell, just because it might have a short duration inside the spell itself, because it does do that sometimes.
I'd recommend going around this way, mainly because we're at least familiar with this site, and maybe we'll get an idea as to how long, and maybe some vague idea of its depth.
Well, if there's a facility, it'll probably have road access.
Yeah, that's true too. So probably want to just sort of skirt, just to keep a reasonably safe distance from the field, but skirt like the edge of the woods and the edge of the road.
I mean, does it seem like the pathway just goes through the middle of it?
Of this area?
Yeah, like...
Yeah, seems like it. Doesn't look like there's a crystal field on one, there's the forest on the other, and then there's this. For reference, this is about a cart's wide width, so it's about 10 foot to 12 foot wide. The road-wise, and then there's the large wood area on the left, and then the field on the right. You don't know how big the field is. It looks pretty big. Several acres, at least. So it was a big operation here. So what I'll say for this, actually... well, let's remove Jeff from here, because he's not here at the moment. So, place yourselves where you would like to wander through. I'm going to remove the guard and Romulus from this. So we'll say things like, we've got, if you want to go through the field, put it in here, road, straight through here, you've got edge here, deep forest here, round the edge here.
and I'll let you guys choose where you wish to go.
Is the field right up against the road?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me give you a bit more of a visual, shall we say.
Oh.
Ah, a map. That's not ominous at all.
Oh boy. I can't see this going wrong.
Huh. I don't
Oh, you can't? Oh, that's good, because I can't either.
No,
Oh,
it
so
is
you
an
still
hour to
use the
cast.
drawn map over here for
Oh, yeah.
guessing rather than
Yeah,
this.
so
Rather
that's-
than this. Yeah. Just a vague visual. I'll remove this for now. You know, I don't need this right now. It's a beautiful map. I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
just wanna
is very
select-
nice. I hope to have plenty of opportunities to enjoy it peacefully.
That ain't happening. Romulus isn't going to be voting, but yeah.
No. It typically
Okay,
follows.
so we've got Vinny. I assume Vinny and Damien, you're technically on the same one here, or like edge.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like the edge of
Lloyd
the
is
road
apparently
and-
not doing anything. Lloyd just wants to go straight through the
What is
field.
eating food?
Lloyd is eating food. Okay, so
Remove
Right.
1 day of rations.
Kay, you're okay to join the rest of your party, or will you be
Ambling along the
scouting
path.
/ being in a slightly different location to the rest of the party?
Scouting.
Okay. Are you going to be traveling along the road or along the forest edge?
I got distracted by family. Where are the people going?
Everyone put the along the forest edge.
Skirting the edge of
Along the
forest.
forest edge. I'm gonna go with. Is it just being on forest edge to avoid this?
So the map
What
that I
the people are
showed,
doing?
Yeah.
the map that I showed everybody else is a quick
Oh.
insight as to roughly what you'd be looking at.
Yeah, I think the idea was we're mostly following the path of the road, but
Yeah.
staying
But
like
from
along
from the
here.
forests, yeah, from the forest side. Okay.
Sure, I guess.
Okay.
Not on the road, then, for me scouting, so I don't mess with whatever the peoples are doing.
Okay. I would like everyone to go ahead and make me a stealth check, please. But first, I would like everyone to give me a marching order.
Oh
Well,
boy.
I guess I'd be ahead because I'm scouting.
You're scouting.
So guys,
Okay.
that's
I'll
a
go-
return.
I don't mind going closer to the front to keep an eye on the crystals to see if they start reacting.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
you
okay to go
Alright.
wherever I can. I'm on full health, so I can.
I'll
I
say
am
the
a
Plague
tank.
Knight's. I'll say the Plague Knight's going to be going forward and using himself more as a shield for this sort of thing. Okay, so you're going to be going there. This is going vertically because of the way the map's orientated here.
Romulus is just going at the back because he's like great health. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you,
Yeah, he's-
unless you want me to
he's-
take up the.
I mean,
rear.
you
He-
could take up the rear.
He's not great health wise. It'd be better if he's at the back.
Mhm.
I can't be losing Romulus on a session when he's not here.
No.
Granted, I know the
if
contract
the-
says that if your character dies when you're not here, it's not my fault, but I'd still feel guilty.
Okay, if right at the back is going to be the safest
I
place,
wouldn't.
then that's fine.
Probably.
Throw 'em in there.
We'll have to see
Okay.
how the stealth checks go. Alright, I would like stealth checks from everybody, please. I would like everyone to have advantage, with the exception of Kay, as you are keeping more to the forest edge, and Kay is doing a little bit more scouting, but he's keeping to the forest edge, but a little bit close to the road.
I already rolled mine, so.
Yeah, I got
Okay,
14.
that is also fair. And those with disadvantage, which I believe is Damien,
Yeah.
your advantage is cancelled out, so we just take the left dice.
Oh well, yeah. Okay. Let's have a little look what that means. Cool. Okay, that's nice.
Okay. And I'll roll for Romulus. Don't know what Romulus has. Probably a decent. Oh, well, he rolled poorly, so that'd be fine then. Yeah, it's a 7. Alright, so. Lloyd, what'd you get?
14.
14? Okay. Cat.
14.
Damien?
Oh,
12. K.
Unnatural 25.
Wow.
Okay, and Vinny?
15.
15. Okay.
Nobody sees K.
Now I've got to double check the passive perception of what I'm looking at here, because I forgot to delete stat blocks. So I just need to scroll down. Okay. Okay. Traveling is your group. Traveling at the edge. So I would like to say everybody position yourselves up to, let's say, this line here. Accordingly. So where you would be roughly on this map.
Mine depends on where the peoples are.
Well, I mean, the
Well,
knights.
consider. I'm assuming same walking order. So is it like
Yeah.
here?
I would have said we were probably there, so we got a on that
Everyone back?
line.
So
So
we've
we
got
got
behind the trees, sort of thing.
yeah, we got
Okay.
a bit of cover,
Yeah.
but we can still
then that
look
would
and
be a
keep an eye on anything potentially
Here, which
occurring
is
to
above
our
mine.
Yeah. So just
To
follow
our
the line,
right.
That's fine there. Yeah. Okay.
I should
Moving
be
up.
here.
I'll say
Two
there
ahead.
because I would say 2 ahead, but at this point you'd probably notice something.
Oh, okay.
So as you're
On the
crossing over the particular tile on the map, in this instance, given the way you've chosen, you look down as you're traveling and scouting ahead. You notice a dead magpie on the ground. The flesh of it is torn asunder. There's no feathers, a scattering of it, a smear of blood, and what looks to be a torn up piece of paper next to it. It is fresh. Hours old at most.
I'm going to pick up the paper and look
Okay.
and see if it says anything.
You pick up the paper, it is illegible. It is tiny shreds. I'd say at this point the Plague Knight and the others catch up at this point. As they stop, seeing you've stopped.
Okay, dead magpie. Oh.
with a message,
Well,
but it was a message. Okay.
Damien,
Something.
you know what magpies are used for.
Yeah. Yes, I'm slightly dreading quite which magpie this was.
magpie? Oh, what's that?
So magpies are used to transport messages primarily between abbots. And looking at where we are in relation, that could have been it's probably heading sort of north or northwest, kind of
Given the
towards where I'm from.
It's west. We're west right now.
Yes, keep in mind that the direction that you're
Oh, we're
currently
more
headed
kind of here-ish, are we? Sort of thing.
is this way.
And we're heading down towards the mountains, sort of thing.
Yes, so actually, I need to rub that out. This way would be north.
Yeah.
In relation to where you are.
Could we tell what direction it was flying, or just?
It's a smear on the ground.
Yeah.
I'll say go
It's,
ahead and make me a survival check with disadvantage, and the DC is going to be quite high for this.
Yeah. Well, different look at the very least.
Okay. Hang on.
Nope.
Now you give it a look over. It's a smear on the ground. It's hard to tell.
30, 30.
Okay. You feel calm. It's strange, but you feel calm here.
What is the range of
I don't feel any sense of danger here.
Okay.
No, you feel calm, relaxed, surprisingly at ease.
Okay. This is going to be a bit weird. Can I make a paper aeroplane?
Maybe a sleight of hand check.
Can I assist?
Yeah,
Arts
sure.
and crafts
K-
with K and Cat. Here's one I made earlier.
Christopher, the party wants to avoid over there. Forest that they're walking through and a dead bird on the ground. Paper
Okay.
aeroplane time. Let's go.
Okay.
That seems legit for this party.
So it's K assisted.
Yeah,
so...
right, session.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
wanna roll?
Assisting.
Right. Sleight of hand. What is my sleight of hand? Oh, Actually,
So
it's
you're
not
the one
bad.
heralding this because you can't get two people folding, but I'll say that you have someone watching and
That is
Oh
17.
God.
17. You make a paper aeroplane. It should fly well.
Okay, right. And Mage Hand is 30 foot, so I'm going to carry the paper aeroplane 30 foot up ahead, and I'm going to throw it in this direction.
I
Okay, go ahead. What's the... I believe the strength of a mage hand is -1, so go ahead and make me an intelligence check. I'll say this is using your spell casting to throw a paper airplane with a mage hand. Something that's, I'd say, probably more unique in this instance.
Okay.
A good use of it, but let's see how well the throw goes.
That is +5.
Okay. Given the low wind, you throw it. It flies over. It dips a bit, rises, hits the fence.
Okay. And nothing reacted. Like none of the crystals.
nothing yet.
You pause. You wait there for a moment. Before you watch as, from this main crystal, you watch as small specks begin to float outwards. Momentarily. Not towards the paper aeroplane, but towards your mage hand.
Okay.
Before you watch as more specks begin to break off of this much larger chunk. From this distance, and Lloyd, I'd say, given your passive perception at this current time, you notice this. These aren't specks of crystal. These are beetles.
Oh God.
And at this instant, as the mage hand is now present, I'd say, yeah, their passive perception is no longer decreased. They seem to be swarming in greater number. I would like everyone... Actually, no. We'll roll initiative next week
Oh,
when this kicks off, and we have Romulus back.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's fine.
Why?
Damien's on full health. He won't die.
Yeah, I mean, I better not. I mean, you know, I'll be away.
No, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm on full health. I might not die.
See,
here, though.
the thing is, I'm pretty sure they don't see
I will
me,
die.
so I'm just gonna sit there.
Let me quickly spawn these for you so that you know what you're up against.
I know what we're up against.
Oh, I know, because you're the one who drew the tile.
Oh, no.
Right.
You drew the tile. And let's make sure the name of this creature is removed as well, so that it's also a surprise.
Oh no. The heck? Oh no.
Why is it more Chris, what is wrong with you and swarms?
They're great. They're great for low
Stop
level
it.
fights. No. You can't
You know
make
what?
me.
This is why I'm not seen. I'm now over here.
Get back, okay?
I don't exist. I don't
No.
exist.
You're not allowed to leave this map.
I wasn't
Find
gonna
the
leave
area.
the map. I was just gonna sit right here.
Nope. not
I
allowed.
don't
All right,
exist.
So,
I have a 29 in stealth, 25 in stealth.
yeah,
No.
you'll be fine. You'll be fine. They're not going to come after you. You're not magically orientated. Let's just hope your casters can keep up.
Oh, come
I mean,
on!
keep up. I mean, in regards to
I
speed,
mean-
yes.
Are you
It
sure
should.
about that?
I don't know, no. Because they have a fly speed, so...
They have a fly speed. They can be
Eh,
pretty fast. So,
I mean, nice.
So, as our group of nosy investigators begin to make their way down the road to a interesting place, shall we say, well, they haven't got there yet. And they've begun to encounter the beginnings of small swarms of various tiny, harmless beetles that haven't really done anything to hurt the party yet, but I'm sure that time will come. So, with the party making their way there, that is where we shall end for the night. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And we will see you next week, hopefully. We'll be, Damien, you'll be missing, unfortunately, next week, I
Yep.
believe. Okay, so unless we are missing more than, if we're missing just Damien, we'll have a session. If we're missing Damien and somebody else, we will be obviously cancelling. As I do not like to play with less than, or with less than 5. So, hopefully we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye bye.